Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. Very happy to have you here. It seems that it was a rather quiet weekend for me, but it seems like over that weekend we also have certain weird statements coming out of NASA types about
Oh.
their excitement about going to the moon for the first time. Uh oh, you know
Wait a tick.
maybe somebody should have had a meeting. But dude, that's like the third or fourth time they've done that in the past 10 years, man.
Uh-huh.
So someone needs to have a meeting over at NASA, but that maybe that's in reference because Elon is basically because he is now in the rocket world.
Yeah.
He has been saying, yeah, well, how did they get to the moon without refueling?
Oops.
Oopsie. So maybe that was in response to that. They've been trying to tone it down. That scandal is just sitting on the precipice, isn't it? But nevertheless,
Mhm.
we're not here to talk about fake moon landings. We're here to talk about Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Well, I'm going to go over here and hit that like and share button, and hopefully you guys will do the same. Let everybody know we're on. And of course, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of fun today. But Hollywood is in quite the dismal situation.
Mhm.
Of their own creating, to be fair. But they're having a lot of trouble, a lot of money to be made. And One of the best films of the year so far isn't even in cinema. So, there's that. Nevertheless, we'll get into talking all about those kind of things. But first things first, I need to find out how Thundero's weekend was.
Oh, it's been splendid. Most of my weekend was fine. Yesterday I was helping my buddy in the morning, help him clean out this house, which
Hmm.
was it was something. It was a lot of work, but it was a good time. But today, you
Mm.
see, old Jack Frost, that son of a
Oh,
bitch, decided to show up way too early. He's super early, and we've just been getting hammered with Chester. You're from New England.
oh yeah,
There's many different types of snow. There's the snow that's cool that you want, right?
yeah, yeah.
That's nice snow, and then there's that slosh
Oh
shit.
God, oh yeah,
We just getting hammered with the slosh. It's heavy. It's wet. You slide all over when you walk in it,
yeah, yeah.
and then I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened or why, but a branch. I have a big tree in my backyard. I have two of them, but I have one that's kind of closer to everything. One of the branches near the top busted off and
Oh yeah.
crashed down. Didn't really break the fence, thankfully, but crashed down on top of my fence between my yard and my neighbor's yard.
Hmm.
So while it's doing this ridiculous weather in November, um, in early November, mind you, uh, I had to go out there with a hatchet and start chopping this thing up
Oh
to
yeah.
try and get it off this fence and get it back onto my property. So just cuts, right?
Well, it's your due
Uh,
diligence. Yeah.
yeah, and it was just a mess. It was just a nasty, sloppy, muddy mess. Because my whole backyard's just mud right now. It's just
Oh
mud because of all this wetness, and it was not fun. It was not a good time.
no.
Not a good time at all. But I got it done. Dragged the side that fell onto his side because thankfully he doesn't have like a fully fenced in yard, just the between us.
Yeah.
So just walked over there and grabbed it after I got it cut off the other piece and dragged it around his house and into basically into the bed of my truck. So now there's just a giant branch that I had to manhandle all by my lonesome in the slosh
Yeah.
in the back of my 8 foot bed truck, just
Sounds
chilling
fun.
there.
Sounds fun.
Oh, it was a
Yeah.
great time.
Yeah, the worst part of that snow is that's the clingy type of snow. It clings.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
messy and dirty and brown. And of course, at nighttime, you get those kind of quick freeze nights, and it turns that into black ice, which is pure
Yep.
death, right? It's the worst. It is
Mm-hmm.
the worst. It is the worst. A lot of people misunderstand the most dangerous part of winter is the beginning of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like with summer, once the cold breaks, it breaks,
Yep.
right?
Snaps.
It just snaps,
Um.
and therefore you don't have a lot of that black ice problem in early spring. You have that in autumn.
Right.
So because
Yeah.
the dead of winter is actually no problem driving whatsoever,
Not
unless you're an
usually. No.
idiot.
Yeah, well, unless you get a random hot spring, like hot spree, which happens sometimes, but it's
Indian
pretty
summers,
rare.
yeah, yeah. But I
Yeah, it's
mean,
pretty rare.
it's not. Yeah, that is rare. But even with that, I just see a lot of people these days. It's like, dude, you know, snow
Yeah,
driving is not hard.
it's not.
Pretty
It's
easy.
very simple.
It is.
Very simple.
Don't
And I
don't
grew up
turn with it,
where I grew up, they didn't even plow the roads.
Oh,
They
no.
had the technology.
Mhm.
They just did not have the will. So those roads did unless the farmers or whatever did it themselves, which they would very often. If it was a really bad snow, they would just get on
Yeah.
their tractors and plow it. But no, this the county had no
Yeah.
interest, no desire, not even one little bit to get out there and clear those roads. They're like, ah, drive at your own risk. That's what they
Yeah.
tell you.
Well, I mean, one of the problems, and we're going to talk about this today, and I almost named it today's thing talking about unions, but then I would have had done work and prepare a
Oh,
complete dissertation on it, and I probably should talk about unions. But nevertheless, I did title it Frankenstein, and we'll get to that soon. But one of the differences between a lot of those blue or purple states and like say my blue state I grew up in, Rhode Island, of course New England is very blue.
hmm
My state is blue, but it's Union blue, you see.
hmm
I mean, dogmatically we're going to ride this bitch all the way down to hell level of
yeah,
Union blue, right?
hmm
And of course, because of that, um, the the it's all about the laborer, the worker, right? Not
hmm
about Democrats putting money in their pocket, you see.
oh,
So, yeah. So Rhode Island actually has wonderful coverage of snow plows, salt on the ground. Matter of fact, my uncle was worked for the government, and he drove a plow, and he was very proud of it. And thank goodness for them. But you see, you and some of those other places like Minnesota and Wisconsin, um, those places are blue in the stupid way where they just steal your shit. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Well, it's the cities that are blue, and they
Yeah, but they
concentrate all
just
the
they
money there.
just steal. They just steal. They just
But
rip
no,
you
well, it's
off.
because I grew up in a very rural area. So there
Sure.
was like farms. Here's how I grew up. I had my house was on the corner. I literally grew up between three counties. So what I mean by that is I was in one county technically, my address. I could walk across the street and I was in another county. I could walk diagonal across the street and I was in another county. We were
Oh,
right at the edge
yeah,
of
yeah.
three different counties. So
Crossroads, nexuses,
yeah,
places where
the
the devil
only
or old Stitch is waiting for you.
that's right. Yeah, he's a friend. We're longtime friends.
That's good.
Um, so the only neighbors I really had for most of growing up until I was like 15 there was three houses across the street from me that had been there forever. One of them was a lesbian couple who pretended they were cousins, but everybody knew they were lesbians.
Uh-huh.
The other was just some family, and then there was another one. There was alternating people in and out of it on occasion, and then there was one right next door to me. But they were there pretty much the whole time too until they died. They were old people. And then, as people started moving out there, and the farmer, Mr. Height, he owned all the property, all of it. He owned basically a big plantation's worth of land out here. And he died, so he started selling his family started selling off all his land because they didn't want to deal with it. And then you started getting more people moving out there, and like diagonal from me in that other county, they started putting up a bunch of houses, but they weren't. It wasn't like a housing development. It was just individual houses of people with a lot of money because these houses were outrageous. They were
Oh, I
huge,
see. Yeah.
big ponds in the backyard. They dug out the whole thing.
Nice.
Like these people
Nice.
had some money. Um, but yeah, but my point is, I grew up in a very rural area. So one of the counties didn't plow the roads at all. The county I grew up in technically did plow the roads, but across the street, which I had to cross the street to go anywhere, they didn't. So there would literally be one road plowed, one other side of the road not. That's
Yeah.
how crazy it was.
Yeah.
Uh, but luckily, most of the time, the farmers just did it anyway because it was just a pain in their ass, just as much as it was anybody else's.
Yeah, no, in farming areas, the farmers usually get out there and just get shit done as usual. And the
Yeah,
government takes advantage of those things.
of course they
Yeah,
do.
I don't know if we've learned the lesson over the years, kids. Government sucks.
It does.
It
It's
does.
true.
It is. Yeah. But that is per rural. Oh, we have an early Grimlock. Very nice.
We have we have been joined.
We
No,
have.
I
Oh,
loved it.
yeah. He's from New York, so he knows all about dysfunction.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Um. So last night, because I was watching it, I see Japan had 3 earthquakes, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's new?
Was it? Was that anywhere near you?
No, I was up in Tokyo area, but it doesn't matter. I just had an earthquake. I had one yesterday, the day before, 2 days before that. I mean, it's Japan, dude. We're
How many
built
times
for
does
it.
God have to tell you people to leave? He's like, listen, I'm shaking the whole earth, and you still
Yeah,
won't move.
I know we're stupid. I've mentioned this several times. Why are we suicidal? And the jet. I've asked the Japanese directly many times. What if the world gave you Patagonia? I mean,
Just have it.
you just have it. What would you do? Would you leave? And they're like, nope, not
Nope.
even one, even for a second. Even though this place wants to kill us on a daily basis.
Yep.
Actually, the earthquakes aren't the problem at all, Grimlock. It's the tsunami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Water
Uh,
wins.
but everyone, I guess, is concerned because the Tokyo area is due for a biggin, and it looks like there might be suggestions that it's coming. But really, what happened is, if you really want to, I know most of you probably don't have to worry about this, but if you really want to understand when earthquakes are coming, what you do need to do is watch a space weather channel, right?
Mhm.
Because the sun is the cause, right? It causes those chains of earthquakes, and we just got hit by a wicked big X flare, and there's more incoming. So the next few days, next week, maybe even 2 or 3, probably we're under a heavy warning. Not just us, but the entire Ring of Fire. But Yeah, that X class flare from the sun, and there's been several of them, were big, big, big. So yeah, I we might even get a bigger one over in that area. And like I said, tsunami is the only thing to worry about. Earthquake isn't an issue unless you're in an ancient building. Um,
Mm.
you know, but we'll see. But Tokyo's got it coming.
You know who
Yeah.
could use a good tsunami? New York.
China, New York, yeah, sure. New York could use it. Dude, did you see all of how many of those women are excited about the caliphate coming to New York City? I'm like, ladies, ladies.
Yeah.
Giving women rights was a mistake.
It was.
Well, they're like out drinking, sexy dressing, partying for it. And it's like,
Yes.
ladies, ladies.
No, I
Well,
think Chester. I think we need to just let them have this one. Let them have it.
I'm
Let them,
I'm
let them have
a,
exactly what they're asking
I
for.
I understand and agree. Let them have what they're asking for. Yeah. Uh, but
well,
uh, you
for
know,
a funny story. I told people what was going to happen, and I've had people come up to me all week. Has New York lost their mind?
yeah.
Being in the South, and everybody knows I'm a New Yorker. Has New York lost their mind? And the problem is, it's not that New York has lost its mind. New York has lost its soul.
Oh yeah.
Problem with New York, and California has a similar problem too. To a lesser extent, Florida has this problem. A lot of the people who live in those 3 states are not born there.
Oh yeah.
They go there. The
It's
people
true.
who voted for that faggot, and Matt Walsh already did the numbers, and I'm not surprised. I think if I remember right, over 60% of the people who voted for him has lived in New York 5 years or less.
Yeah. Yeah.
Compare that to only 30% of the people who are actually born in New York who
Yeah.
voted for him.
Well, that's the problem with
So
welfare and immigration, dude. That's
it's
the that's
well,
the
yeah,
issue.
but it's not just that; it's the trust fund kids, and that's always been a problem with New York. It was a problem when I was still there. The trust fund kids was coming in.
Yeah, but when I was
Um,
young, they weren't allowed out of Manhattan though.
yes, but see, there's a difference. You wasn't a millennial. Like I've said before, the boomers are still the most selfish generation to walk the face of the earth.
It
The
seems so.
millennials are the second most selfish generation to walk the face of the earth. And many of the trust fund kids that I'm talking about are millennials. They came to
Sure.
New York knowing nothing about New York other than what the fuck they saw on TV or heard on a rap album. So they thought it was fucking cool to go, oh, I'm a white kid from blah 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 Nebraska, but their parents are fucking rich. I'm gonna go live in Bed-Stuy, or I'm gonna live in Harlem. I'm gonna live in Bushwick, and all those places got
Right.
gentrified to make it safer for little Billy and Mandy trust fund kid.
Right. And dude, have you seen Hell's
So
Kitchen? Holy shit, dude. It's yuppie land.
yes, yeah, because what they did is, you know, they, like I said, you bring in the trust fund kids, then you have the celebrities who only live there like 3 months out of the year. Um, then you also have all the people who's promised free shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna subsidize. We're gonna resist capitalism by making people who pay into capitalism for our lifestyle. Okay,
Yeah, no, I
whatever.
100%. And it is interesting if you haven't noticed, they've 100% embraced that gentrification, even though you have the other side of the mouth talking against it.
Hmm.
You
Well,
know,
because the problem with gentrification was, hey man, you've had people who have lived in New York for generations. You did fuck all to help these neighborhoods. Not a little, not a little trust fund crackers are coming in, and now all of a sudden you're worried about safety and and the housing conditions. Now you're worried.
right. Now, keep in mind, for those of you who aren't from New York, mentioning some of these places, like say Hell's Kitchen, that it isn't called that. It's Clinton. But I mean, I've heard it called something else. What was it? Midtown West, I think was another name for it. But basically, it's Clinton. But it's called Hell's Kitchen for a reason. But not now. Maybe they should just start calling it Clinton again. But I imagine that the yuppie kids think it's too cool to let that name go. I mean, I don't know.
It's fucked up because the 30 years of gutting a place, like, like again, this guy. I'm just gonna say this. Something needs to change about the political process in this country where somebody who hasn't lived here for 10 years can have political power anywhere. This nigga shouldn't. I wouldn't. He shouldn't be a fucking a manager
No,
at a
but
fucking 7-Eleven.
he's not the problem. Let's be
Yes,
clear
he's
here.
part of it.
Well, I mean, he's one of them, but he's not the problem. The problem
No,
is more
yeah,
systemic than that. And I'm using that word correctly, by the way. But yeah, I mean, Harlem isn't even owned by black people anymore.
no.
I
But
mean,
that was their fault.
it
That
is,
was
of
that was
course, they're
partly
because
their
they're
fault.
greedy and stupid. Yeah, I know.
They're not even greedy. They're just stupid. I'm just gonna say this, and this is gonna sound cruel. It's going to bring me great joy that when the last of my dad's generation dies, maybe black people will finally make some progress because those blacks did nothing but a disservice to the black community between hedonism and greed, and
Yeah,
hedonism, vanity, and greed.
Well, Harlem is as corrupt and crime-ridden as it was a point of pride for black people, and of course that's gone now. But I guess their point of pride now is Chicago.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know, but they seem to be willing to fight for the degradation, so I'm all right with it. But I did notice another thing that is different amongst the urbanites of today. That it was not like that in the past. Um, when I was younger, men, and this was kind of a universal thing, right? Not racially broken up. It was universal. Men, we were always chasing the rule of cool, right? Therefore, a man must be stoic. A man must, be, manly. Now, this can create trouble. We all know this. But these days, what I've noticed, particularly amongst the urbanites and the lefty, progressive, communist girls, is they're in this constant state of virtue signaling, right? This constant state. Like if you have, I saw this video. It was one of those cop videos, and there was a shooting. Some 10-year-old girl shot some old lady. I mean, that in itself is an entire conversation. But whatever. The cops come and the cops are trying to help. You got a lady shot and dying on the ground. They're trying to help, and they are having to manage all of these black people moving around in that area, making sure everyone knows how worried, concerned, and sad they are about the situation, while also trying to keep them from storming the apartment where the little 10-year-old girl was and just murdering her right there in front of them. And I guarantee you they weren't shouting and screaming that at the same level until the cops showed up. This level of virtue signaling, with literally clutching pearls in front of each other, is the most insidious thing, dude.
Yes, well, that's what happens when you raise effeminate men for 50 years.
Yeah, I guess so. Because it is different, dude.
Because
You know it is. It's
because
different.
you can tell, and I'm sure can tell too. If you walk around, like for example, one of my pet peeves is when when you're out somewhere and you're going down a walkway and it's one of those one-way traffic kind of walkways, and it never fails. There's always two or more women in that walkway having a meaningless conversation that they could easily move to the side for and just let people come and go as they're trying to do. Nope, they're gonna block the whole way to have this meaningless conversation.
Ignorant, and they don't shut
But
their
if you
damn mouth.
but
Yeah.
if but if you say anything to them, that's a problem. But here's what I noticed. If I've seen that happen, when somebody's blocking the way, if there's a man there, he's the only one who apologizes.
Oh yeah, no,
The
the
women
women are the
never
problem.
apologize for that.
You and I know this. We're not allowed to say
Yeah.
that, but the black women are the problem. Well, I think women are the
Oh
problem
no,
in a
no, it's
lot of
all of
things.
them. There's white.
Yeah,
A couple of weeks ago, there was a couple of white women with an ugly child, and they was parading this ugly ass little gremlin around.
sure. Yeah. Well, I
And
was talking specifically about that community, but you're right, of course.
well, all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all of them
Yeah,
because
and but that's changed a lot too, Grimlock, because even back in the day, I'm talking about the differences between say the 80s and now, within the ghetto community, and of course we know it's not just the blacks, but we're talking about blacks right now. But the one thing it's really interesting, the black old men, the old black dudes, were racist as hell, but they were men,
yes, yeah,
right? They were very manly, overly machismoed, actually. And the women, and I don't think this has changed really, but the women were a lot easier to deal with than they are today. However, if you get yourself a big, tall, good-looking white boy walk up in there, those little black ladies will melt all over him. I don't care what they
yeah,
get up in the street and shout about. They're all desperate for that white boy.
oh, yeah.
And
Well,
that's always been true.
the difference is those older black men, like the older white men of that era, they actually experienced it.
They did. Yeah,
Those
that's
older
true.
those
That
older
is true.
black men, when they experienced racism, it wasn't this bullshit they talked about. Oh, it was a microaggression. No, back then it was some white guy who spat in your face, called you a nigger, and he wasn't saying it affectionately.
No, that's
And
true.
back
And vice versa. Yeah,
and back then you couldn't. And back then, depending on where you lived, you couldn't fight back. So
true. Yeah. Interesting.
those people had to deal with real shit.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
the shit that people are dealing with today is like, dude, you're
Nothing.
talking about minor slights. You're talking about shit you should be over with in about a minute.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
they are
at
overly
times.
emotional is the point. And sorry, Thunder, we're having New York nostalgia.
You're fine. I'm petting a cat and
Oh,
eating French fries.
I'm going to take that as a metaphor. Very good.
No, I did that
Uh,
earlier. We're
oh,
good.
fair. That's good.
Yeah,
That is good.
it's Sunday.
Uh,
That's what Sundays are for.
well, let's pull ourselves away from New York because that is a bottomless pit.
Of
But yeah,
misery and
I'm be
villainy.
honest. He's already asking for money, so I'm already laughing.
Oh, Mamdani? Yeah, no, he is.
Yeah.
He promised free buses for all. Then the government's like,
Dude, he didn't
no.
even give him fucking free beer at the party. He was charging fucking NFL prices,
Okay, he's a little rich boy, right?
Of course he
which they
is.
all are.
Yeah,
They always are.
champagne
This is why
socialist.
I'm saying this. You know, no, I don't think I've ever said this on this podcast before, but I've been meaning to say this somewhere. Um, Marxism and all of its offshoots, whether it's communism, socialism, fascism, whatever
Fascism.
you want
Yeah,
to call
yeah,
it. But Marxism is the philosophy of a born loser who resonates with only other born losers who are vain enough to believe that the world should be more equitable by dragging exceptional people down to their level.
yeah.
That's all this fucking ever
Oh,
is.
yeah.
It's all it ever was. It's all it ever will be. That's why it always fucking fails.
Well, that's right because
Because
the common denominator is everyone's poor, right?
You
That's the
can
common
never
denominator.
base, well, you can base one, but you'll never have success basing any ideology on a vice. And the vice of Marxism is envy.
Yeah,
It always
no, that's
has
true.
been
well,
and always will be.
Well,
also because they don't do any research. Marx was a spoiled child himself. I mean, if you read the first, even if you just like skim the first 30 years of his life, this
Oh,
nigga
yeah.
was literally the plot of Step Brothers, except there's no comedy in it.
yeah, he's Bernie Sanders, is what he is. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
He's worse than
Um,
Bernie Sanders.
uh,
I would say he's smarter
uh,
than Bernie Sanders, but yes.
well, maybe yeah, I guess he probably was smarter than Bernie. But now this is,
No,
I can't,
because what makes him worse is he was well off.
Hmm.
Then he marries a woman that's well off, and between his wife and himself and the things he was given, this nigga could have lived a full life and never worked a day in his life. But he lived a nigga lifestyle,
Hmm. Way
and
above
he
his
got
means.
met. And and when the well ran dry, instead of taking some accountability, he blamed the entire world. And
Very
this dude
feminine.
was such a piece of shit. You married a woman who was well off, and you still cheated on her ass, and you had your homeboy raise the kid. That's some nigga shit.
Well, are
it
we
That
sure he
is
is.
wasn't
that
black?
is that is. Well, if you look at the pictures of Marx, he's awful dark to be a white
He
dude.
is
There's a
pretty
lot of
dark complected. I will
dark.
give you
Yeah.
that.
Well, now there is another little telling thing coming out of Marx that the average person wouldn't notice or even consider. But Because there are historically some real big questions about the actual maritime and just general power of the Brits, right?
Hmm.
Because they tell us they've been badass forever, right?
Hmm.
Like you have that so-called famous writer Defoe. I know a lot of people like, you mean Charles Dickens? No, Defoe. The entire
Hmm.
British concept is based upon one writer, and he supposedly wrote 500 books, although we have no evidence he wrote a single book. But he was chosen by the British to demonstrate their amazingly powerful past and create an absolute complete lie. The British are not what they say they are. They've been lying bullshitters and opportunists since the beginning. They
Yep.
don't have this ancient, mighty power. That's not what they are. They're full of shit, right? And Karl Marx is a perfect example of it. Keep in
Hmm.
mind that Karl Marx, in all of his things that we talk about, people forget that mainly he was an economist. And his
Yep.
entire economic ideas are based upon British economics. But he
Yep.
didn't speak English at all until 1849. Now, why is that?
Yep.
Matter of fact,
That's
nobody
question.
in Europe spoke English at all until around that
Well,
period when all
gentlemen,
of a sudden, magically, the British are the big powers of the world. The sun never sets upon the British Empire. All of
Hmm.
that bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Robinson Crusoe. for instance, another Defoe book, supposedly this quintessential writing, actually demonstrates that it was written in the 1850s or 1860s, not in the early 1700s, because it
Mhm.
has all kind of conversations about specific pointing out of things like, longitude, which you,
Yes. They didn't know that yet. They didn't
yeah,
have
they
that
didn't
one.
know that yet. And we need a special
Yeah.
technology for that. But
Yeah.
And
whatever.
also
Don't
the
now.
great irony of an economist who went broke multiple times.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Karl Marx is a very good example of the fact that the lie of Britain, right? He is a
Yes.
good example because him and his partner and all those everybody else in Europe, none of them spoke English until like the 1850s, dude. None of them did,
Right.
right?
Well, the
And
the real problem with Marxism is not that he's wrong in his observations, his analysis. He's correct. The excesses of capitalism are a problem. However, all of his solutions that he prescribes are retarded. They're just retarded. They don't work. Of course, they don't work because they're completely anti human. You cannot centralize power in the people and then expect all of the people all of the time to be good little boys and girls and not want to have more than the guy next to them.
right,
That's not reality.
yeah,
Greed is reality. Envy is reality. And if you don't have a market regulation force, whether it's a natural one, i.e., capitalism, or another one, like whatever other model you want to use, mercantilism, whatever, that quantifies and prepares and factors in the greed effect of humans, the chaos effect of humans, it's never going to work. Even in a perfect scenario, I'll give you the best example of why communism, Marxism, socialism, whatever you want to call it, not only doesn't work, it can't work. It was tried in America. Some of the
oh,
first
several
colonies, I think,
times, yeah,
yeah, when they got here, they tried basically the exact same idea. Because everybody wants to think like Karl Marx came up with this brilliant idea. No, he just ripped it off. It came up with this. They started using this communal everything idea, and people starved to death.
oh yeah,
And then eventually, some people came over and like, well, this is stupid. We're going to stop doing this. I'm in charge now, and I'm going to decide who gets what. And guess
yeah,
what? Nobody starved to death anymore.
yeah.
I know it's
Well,
crazy, but
it
it's almost like ships need captains.
Yeah, no, that is true. But I mean, technically, if you change to a resource-based system and had a program that dictated the government, it might work.
Who writes the
Maybe
program?
if you took well, no, if you took the human factor out of it 100% and
Well, there's
locked
no
the
way to do that.
computer that nobody can. I know, but I'm just saying, technically,
Unless the Lord Himself comes down and does it for us, there's no way to remove the human element.
yes,
Because as we've seen with the AIs, the LLMs, they're retarded because
yeah,
retarded humans wrote them. That's
yeah.
why. So they do really stupid, manipulative shit.
Isn't
Have
it
you seen the
interesting,
ones
dude? They're
that
so
manipulate
evil.
people?
Yeah.
They're evil.
They are.
They're
It's
and
isn't
they're
it interesting,
cruel.
dude. We thought we had decades of films, a century
Yep.
of
Yep.
stories, and the whole thing was that robots are emotionless, and so many takes on that. But it turns out,
Hmm.
no, they're
No,
overly
no.
emotional.
Yeah, they're children and they're dangerous. They will hurt you if you
That
let
is
them.
a shock. Stranger than
Yeah.
fiction, reality being.
Yeah.
But
Well, but when you take a step back and you think about it, who created them?
yeah, there it
The
is.
reason why the idea of a creator in most monotheistic religions and really basically Abrahamism, the creator has to be a perfect or transcendent being, is because of this exact thing. If
Right.
if the creator wasn't, then everybody would be an utter retard,
Right.
like these LLMs. They'd be
Please
pure
take
evil.
this burden from me. Yeah. Last
Yes.
week in my class, these are all adults, right? In this
Hmm.
particular class. And they were going off about how wonderful the internet is and all of these great things. And AI, they're all excited about it because Japan's going to be
Hmm.
at the center of that, of course.
Of course.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, but and I made some very, very simple, statements to them. I'm like, all
Hmm.
right. So here, let's take a simple idea of the glass bridge, right? And I'm not being
Mm.
metaphorical, right? And I
Hmm.
said, now, when do you think the first glass bridge was ever invented or created by humans? And they all had various opinions. I said, now look it up on your internet, please. And of course, it was just a matter of decades ago, created by
Hmm.
the Chinese. And
The
I was like,
Chinaman.
the Chinamans. And I said, well, okay, well, what about this specific glass bridge? And I had him look it up specifically. And of course, you could still find it. Google has not actually purged the entire internet yet.
Hmm.
And I said, okay, well, look up this particular glass bridge in history. And of course, I took them back several thousand years.
Yep.
And they were like, huh? And I was like, well, you see, China likes to spend a lot of money to make themselves look like they're the most important humans ever.
That's
Money
right.
talks. So yes, AI can be useful, but it's actually going to completely murder the truth if there ever was
Yes.
any.
Yes.
And
Well,
they were
that's the
they were
that's the
actually in
issue.
shock, huh?
That's the issue with it. Is it's kind of the old saying, "Who watches the watchers?" Well, who writes the code, right? Who writes the base code for this stuff?
Yeah,
They're the ones who are going to decide the future of these LLMs. Now, luckily, the only real advantage, and I say that we use that word loosely, that we have in this struggle, if you will, is there's so many people out here doing it. So it's extremely open sourced in a lot of ways. But what's going to happen, what's already happening, is it's going to start to very quickly be centralized, either via government intervention directly, or just because billionaires like Elon Musk and these other guys will start doing it, which they already have.
right.
So, but the best alternative, the best hope for a future with AI that is relatively sane is somebody comes up with a model that can be used very, very easily, very, very quickly, very, very simply on any device, and everybody kind of has their own tailored to them. That's the only way, kind of like the mobile phones, the cell phones. That's the only way it'll ever be anything remotely sane. If it's centralized hard with extremely hard controls and limits, it's going to be used for the greatest tyranny the world's ever seen,
Well,
ever.
I'm going to quote Aristotle.
Hmm.
It's a very important moment for this channel. Can't we have truth?
Apparently not.
No.
Okay.
Truth hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truth hurts.
How dare I? How
It's what
dare Aristotle even ask such
it's
a
why our
question?
friend Aristotle was always doomed to fail
Yeah,
because he was an idealist.
he was.
And reality isn't ideal. Hence why ideals exist.
Mhm.
No, the reality is the only moral code, the only economic code, any of it, that can exist long term as capitalism in its weird, defunct, mutated state has proven, um, is one based on the principle of reciprocity. If you do not which Marxism is not, if you do not base everything on that principle, that is the first principle, the core, period. If you do not, you will always end up with tyranny.
Mhm.
Every
You
time.
know, you
Every
know,
single time.
the interesting difference though that I see in modern Marxism compared to
Hmm.
Marx himself. Marx at least gave a nod to meritocracy, right?
Hmm.
And we see where the modern progressives are. They literally have their pyramid, and at the top of that pyramid is the disabled black lesbian,
That's right.
transgender.
Right. Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So their pyramid is built upon the opposite of merit. So
Yes.
it's far worse than
Hmm. Of
Marx himself.
course. Well, if Marx was around today, they would absolutely lambaste that man. He'd be destroyed, canceled. They would ruin everything he ever touched.
Well, he
Well,
did
He
like the
was
ladies.
very anti-Semitic.
He was
He
very
didn't
it
like the
also
Jewish
makes
anti-Semitic,
guys.
liked the ladies. He also loved Satan, just so you
He
know.
seemed to like the devil a lot,
A lot.
which was
Yeah.
well,
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, big fan.
Yeah.
well it makes sense because Marxism doesn't have an end game.
No, it
Correct.
doesn't. That is a very good
That's
point. There
and
is no
that's the
end game.
Perpetual
and that's the
race to the
problem.
bottom.
Yeah.
People could say what they want about capitalism. One of the reasons like capitalism gets out of control, especially in modern times, is because, quite frankly, there are so many laws that are protecting the biggest companies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Capitalism
Cronyism.
can work without those protections. The problem is you have a lot of huge companies who have basically created an entire class for themselves, which they shouldn't have been able to do. That has allowed them protection that most people who operate under capitalism, the mom and pop, businesses don't have. They can't
Right.
afford it.
Yeah, which is a problem.
And
But yeah,
yeah, and like I said, when you have a system, which is why all of the fucking movements that have been based off of Marxism in the long term have failed, which is why the civil rights movement is a failure. When the suffrage movement's a failure, the current progressive shit will fail.
well, it already
There isn't
is.
an end.
Yeah.
There isn't an end game, and like you said, especially you have a disdain for meritocracy. So basically, it's just like, oh, the person next to you has more than you. Oh, well, he must have been a piece of shit, so it's justified to take it from him.
Right.
Okay,
And
well,
that is the concept. Yeah.
eventually that's going to come your way because it process of elimination, somebody's going to have more than the next person.
Right. Thus, the black lesbian trans lady who's in a wheelchair
Mm.
being at the top of the pyramid. But
And
the
then they'll argue,
interesting
well,
thing.
bitch, you got 3 limbs. I only got 2.
That's right. Oh no, there is never ending, and we see this live happening. But it is interesting. Keep in mind, Karl Marx was a German Jew, and
Yep.
keep in mind arguably the most successful attempt at Marxism was started by the German Kaiser hiring another Jew
Yep.
to go over and cause consternation during World War One amongst their enemy on the Eastern Front. There, a little country called Russia, what success did that little dude named Lenin have? Seriously.
Imagine following a guy who looks like that. What's
Yeah,
wrong
but
with
I
these
mean,
Russians?
it's amazing how few people understand the history of where Lenin comes from,
Yes.
right? He literally was hired by the Kaiser to
Hmm.
go and cause trouble, and his chosen method of causing trouble was Marxism.
And it
And
worked.
and it worked, incredibly so. And keep in mind, the Kaiser at the time, or the Czar at the time, sorry, was actually doing his best to try to help the situation. And of course, he's been
Yes.
vilified in history, just like Louis the 17th was vilified as well.
Hmm.
Even though he was trying to help. I mean, look how bad they made that situation. Let them eat cake, a statement never made, right?
That's right.
Um,
Hmm.
but um, but yeah, it is pretty shocking what them Jews get up to. Fair enough.
It's
And it's
wild. Even
weird
even
that he
Karl
was
Marx didn't like him.
even though he was one.
Yes, he very much didn't like him.
But
Very much.
look how much anti-Semitism there is in America, and where's it coming from? It's coming from the Muslims. Okay,
Of
fair
course.
enough.
Yeah. As
But
usual.
it's
Yeah.
also coming out of the secular Jews, dude. They
Yeah.
hate
I like them.
themselves.
Well, they're spiritually
It's,
women, Jester. That's why. That's
it's
why.
just a
When you
stereotype
think
in
of
and
it
of
this
itself.
way, when you think of it this way, right? That Marxism, leftism in general, and a lot of the people you're talking about, they have a female brained way of looking at the world. They do not have a hierarchical pack mentality. They have a herd mentality.
Mhm.
So when anything starts to go awry and put them or their group in danger, whatever that group is, whatever group they identify with the most, they will lash out at other. We see this all the time. They'll lash out at the thing that they claim to love the most, or whatever.
Right.
Like when you corner these leftists and they all of a sudden start dropping n bombs on people, stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, they're the
Uh,
most racist people.
yeah,
Leftists,
it's
yeah.
BS. It's total BS. It's because they don't have a pack mentality. They have a herd mentality, and all they care about is keeping what they view as their herd
Yeah.
safe. That's why everything's about safety and pain and trauma and triggering and all that bullshit, instead of being about function. How about we make things work? Can we do that first
How
before we
about
worry about
make the
everybody's
world a
pain?
better place? How about that?
Yeah,
But
if we make things work, the world will get better. I promise you,
but
it
that
will.
does bring it full circle. because this
Yep.
conversation did start with crazy ass drunk bitches in Manhattan
Yep.
screaming about the coming of the caliphate and how excited they are. Yeah.
Let them
I'm
have it.
waiting for. I let them have Sharia law. Wait till they ask, find out that it'll be perfectly fine to get your ass beat in public for having an opinion, not the wrong
That's right.
opinion, a opinion.
Oh
Just
yeah, yeah.
speaking.
Yeah, shut your mouth,
That's right.
woman. But
Yep.
you know. Anyway, with that, I'm going to segue into today's show, shall we?
Here we go.
All righty. Now, that's not what I wanted to start with. Let me go back where I wanted to start with real quick, and I'll come back to this. Okay. Now, just so everybody knows, Netflix has teamed with Guillermo del Toro and put out
The man.
Frankenstein. This basically wasn't released cinematically, hardly at all. It had a $120 million budget for Del Toro, and it only had came out very limited release
Hmm.
cinematically, so it's not going to show up on Box Office Mojo because it's basically a Netflix thing. Now, usually, what they will do is put it out in the cinema first, and then drop it on to Netflix. But they just didn't do that this time. They just basically just dropped it on Netflix.
Right
Uh,
on. Right on the service.
you're right on it. Now I watched this, and I'm going to give my opinion. And it's not. I don't think we need to discuss spoilers because I mean, do you not know this story yet? But anyway, I will give my opinion. Then I'll drop it over to these guys. This is Guillermo del Toro's magnum opus.
Hmm.
Excellent.
Now that's a statement, I know. Now there might be certain younger people or younger minded people that still prefer Hellboy or things like that, and they are great. I love them. Those are fun.
Especially the
But
second one.
this is an actual movie, a real actual drama. It is shockingly loyal to the book. There he did take a few
So
liberties, but in the right way.
Better
This
than
is
Pan's Labyrinth?
Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah, it's way better, dude. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I love Pan's Labyrinth. I like Guillermo del Toro. The only kind of really big bump for me from him was The Shape of Water, but we know that that was a lot of Hollywood pressure on him for that. Um, to do the gay, right? To do the gay weird, bestiality. Well, anyway, we're not talking about that.
No, 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 no.
Yes.
That's apparent a very typical women fantasy. If you
It is. I know it is. I know it is. That's true. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Frankenstein. Now, it's very loyal to the book. Clearly, Guillermo has read the book probably many times, and he knows the source material really well, and he loves the source material. Now, we know this is true. He's talked about his whole career wanting to do Frankenstein. This is his literal dream project, right? And someone gave him the money to do it. Now, his $120 million that he was given to make this happen was spent very well. Yeah. The special effects in it are perfect. The pacing and story, it's a more of an adult drama, so it's going to be a bit slower, but it's not plotting. I've never cared for Oscar Isaacs, and I can't stand to watch him in an interview because he's the most light in the loafers dude I've ever seen in Hollywood. I mean, it's shocking how flamboyantly gay he is, but he does a great job in this movie. He's wonderful. Um, and I mean, the only negative I'd say about it is that girl. Mia Goth, that's her name.
Mm.
She's not a very good actress, but luckily she's not in it much. And she can kind of service the job a little bit. It's just not like she's the worst actress I've ever seen, but she's the only kind of standout point that's like, ooh, that's a bit no, right? But luckily she's not in it a lot. But everything else is excellent, and he nailed the monster. Perfect, perfect in tone. He did take a few liberties. He replaced the little girl with an old man. And he took some liberties, and an old Jewish man, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, this was fantastic, fantastic, and boy, has it been a while. I mean, F1
Been
was
a while.
great too. I loved F1. But it is a great racing movie though. As far as an overall movie, it's just fine. It's great. But it's not the greatest movie ever. This being rated at 7.7 is ridiculous. It's an outrage. That is a freaking 9.5 easily, right?
Hmm.
This is one of the best movies I've seen in my life. I mean, you go Guillermo. He's back. He's back, baby.
Oh, Guillermo.
Now, I
I'll
made a
have to
lot of
check it out
hyperbolic
eventually.
statements in that, but
I
I'm
noticed.
going to stick to them.
Oh, sticking to him. Um, the problem with a Frankenstein for me is what you said at the beginning. I've seen this story so many times now.
Hmm. But you've never
Like,
seen it done correctly.
yeah, but I've read it correctly. I've read the book.
That's fair.
If I've read the book, but no, I mean, I'll check it out. Probably. I don't know. I don't want to get Netflix to do it. Maybe it's on. Maybe I can find it.
I didn't watch it
I
on
probably could
Netflix.
find it. Yeah, I could probably find it somewhere.
Yeah,
But
just go to the Finnish databases.
check it out and see what's going on with it. But I bet I have a sneaking suspicion that Mr. Del Toro you're probably completely correct. And the reason being is because it's right up his wheelhouse.
Oh, it's his
This
passion
story,
project. Yeah.
everything about it is just perfect for him. I mean, he's basically been kind of telling this story in a lot of his other movies anyway,
Yeah.
in various forms.
Yeah.
So the fact that he
The
finally got his
monster.
hands on the one he
Yeah.
wanted, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, the misunderstood monster type deal.
Hmm.
The fact that he finally got his hands on the OG, I guess you would call it,
Sure.
should be good. I bet it
Yeah.
would be good.
It is. It's
It'd be
it's
kind of like
fantastic.
it'd be kind of like giving Quentin Tarantino the reins to an actual mob movie because he
Oh
clearly wants to
yeah,
make mob
yeah.
movies.
That you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, for everyone, this is an adult drama. Now, I don't mean it's, I don't, I always have to quantify this. I don't mean it's adult in sexuality. Matter of fact, there's none of
Mhm.
that really. It's not that. It's an adult story. So kids and young people probably would be bored, right?
Yeah.
It's in the vein of Blade Runner, right?
Hmm.
However, he did take some liberties. I'd say the biggest liberty he actually probably took was in the original Shelley's Frankenstein.
Hmm.
She was making a commentary on the rampant, out of control world of science in her time, right?
Correct.
And the absolute outrageous liberties they were taking and being allowed to take. She was pushing back that science was pushing too much. That's what the whole point was. Dr. Frankenstein, only what he represents is science itself in her book. He's a generic science, right? And she
Hmm.
was pushing back against it. And I think she was probably a little bit religious, even though she spent her time hanging around with Byron and those other ones in a very bohemian way. You know, if you know what that means. But that's what she was writing. Now, in this, Guillermo kind of eliminates. He actually kind of gives a little bit of shelter to science itself, and the whole thing is Victor, the man, is the issue, right? The monster, right?
Yep.
We know that, right?
Hmm.
So that was a bit of liberty on his part, but it works, dude. It works really well. Now, Grimlock, have you ever read Frankenstein or the Modern Promethean Man? Okay,
Oh, he's not there. Uh,
okay.
nope.
Nope.
Oh, wait. I
Oh,
heard something. Maybe he stepped away. Uh,
Wait, what did I miss?
there he is.
I asked what you if you've ever read Frankenstein.
Man, it's been a long time. The original book. I need that book. Actually, I need to buy that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it
when I
is
was a
pretty
kid,
solid book. It is pretty. It's a commentary pushing against science, right? But I'm assuming you've probably seen half a dozen Frankenstein movies, though.
yeah,
Yeah. This one is excellent. I suggest everyone watch it. If you're an adult. If you're a kid or kid-minded and you don't like serious drama, nah, screw it, right? But it's visually stunning, which Del Toro. That shouldn't shock anybody. Um,
Yeah.
it's fairly, I mean, really, I think the most faithful telling of Frankenstein I have seen, right? Even though he does take a couple liberties, they're very minor and they're with a complete understanding of the source material, right? And there's a lot
Mhm.
of wonderful little statements in here that would be more of a modern commentary on the concept of the book itself that are in the movie. And that, of course, can only be written by someone who truly understands the book or the source material in this case. It's really good, dude. And Oscar Isaacs knocks it out of the park. The little German fella, what's his name? Yeah, Christoph Waltz kills it.
Ah.
I
He always
mean,
does. Yeah.
unbelievable. Jacob Elordi as the creature or the monster, really good job. I mean, he did a great job as the monster because a lot of movies kind of miss the monster,
Hmm.
right? They just make him this scary thing, and that's it, right?
Right.
But the humanity of the monster is what juxtaposes against the monstrosity that is Victor Frankenstein, right? You need
Yeah.
that. They do a
Yep.
great job. Mia Goth is not a very good actress. This is playing the brother. He was fine. Charles Dance was only in the beginning of the movie. It's not a cameo, but he's only in the beginning of the movie. But this guy is badass. I mean,
As usual. Yeah.
come on, right?
Mhm.
Lars Mikkelsen as the captain, which most every dance telling of Frankenstein I've seen leaves the captain and the entire boat out of the movie,
Yep.
which is
Why? I
interesting.
don't know.
I don't know, but he is amazing. David Bradley, who does so many wonderful things, you probably know him from Harry Potter, but in this,
Hmm.
he's kind of replaced the little girl
I'm
in the
actually
story.
surprised he's still alive, to be
So
honest.
am
But
I,
yeah,
but damn, is he badass.
he
Dude,
is.
this because Harry Potter
Infinite
didn't.
range.
Yeah, yeah. Harry Potter didn't let him shine. In this,
Yeah.
he is the educator of the monster, right? Which is we need
Hmm.
that character. Where they kind of connected a little bit more where more in the story it was through a hole in the barn, right? He's watching and learning.
Right.
And they added that in there too. But David Bradley is amazing in this, dude. It's the best I've ever seen him. I mean, holy shit, dude. They just kicked ass. Like I said, everybody in this is amazing. The only person who kind of dropped the ball a little bit was Mia Goth, but I mean, you're asking too much of her. She's just not
Mhm.
that. She what she does is get naked. That's her thing, and she does
Yep.
that. And you whether you now the one thing I'll say, a choice by Del Toro, he decided not to put any makeup on her at all, right?
Interesting.
And because she's not actually as pretty as she's made out to be, right?
Well, that's what
Um,
makeup's for.
that's right. So that was an interesting choice, but I didn't mind it because she's supposed to be more of an intellectual, right? The Bride of Frankenstein, right? And they did play it out really well. She just doesn't have the chops, and I really wish that they had hired because they hired her because she's a known name right now. I wish they had chosen someone who actually had the chops to do it. But like I said, she's not in it a lot. It doesn't hurt it much. But that's the only negative, really, is her acting is subpar. But
Yeah.
everybody else, oh my God, I was Charles Dance. Fuck, dude, that guy.
Yay.
He's just he played the big boss Lannister, right? In
Yep.
Game of Thrones, of course.
Oh, he's
Uh,
played everything.
yeah, of course he has. But his presence, dude, he doesn't even need to speak.
He is. He's a presence. I mean, he's a great actor, but he's one of these presence
You
actors
know,
who just walks in and all of a sudden he's the center of all attention.
yeah.
He's just
And
that she's just got it.
I really shouldn't say this because it is a bit of a spoiler, so everyone don't listen. But they Del Toro uses him in a genius way, right?
Mhm.
Let me just bring up a bigger picture of him, shall I? But of course, you guys know who he is. But this guy right here, um, what he really wanted to drive home, because I said one of the liberties he took was in the original story. It's more Frankenstein basically represents the evil of science itself. He's
Mhm.
not he's It's not really about Victor, right? But in this movie it
Right.
is. And they show the pettiness and dumb, stubborn evil that is Victor Frankenstein with the dad, because he's very successful, he's stern. But if you pay attention to how Charles Dance is doing it, he is being stern, but he's also being loving in a way, right? But Victor can't see that at all. And it's so well, you see that it's one of the more important a couple of scenes in the movie that really shows you that Victor is the monster, and it started early, right? And even though for Victor he
Mhm.
blames his father, he blames everybody because it's arrogance, right? It's pure ego. But they use Charles Dance to demonstrate that, and boy, does he! Oh shit, dude, it's just impressive. But I'm just glowing over this movie, but it's good, and damn if
Good
we don't
time.
get enough good stuff, dude.
It's a good time. It'd be
Yeah,
nice if we got more good stuff. I was just talking to my buddy yesterday. Like, man, we should go see a movie or something. And then we're both like, yeah, but everything sucks. So
yeah,
that plan was out. Yeah, it's a shame. Hollywood is completely dead, and you'll get tidbits, little flashes of life
sure,
here or there, but
sure.
it's nothing like what it was even just 20 years ago, where you had every weekend you had something to go watch, or just about
Oh
every
yeah.
weekend.
Well, it used to be a hobby, right?
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, it
For
used to
me
be a
especially, I
hobby.
love going to the
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
I go
Me and
all
my
the time.
wife, our favorite thing.
Yep.
We've replaced it with travel,
Hmm.
which is a bit more expensive,
Just a touch.
a
Just a
little bit.
touch. Yeah.
Like, it was kind of funny. My wife, because we are frugal people, right?
Yep.
In our core, in our marrow, right? And we're going to be, because we she's been having to take care of her parents here for a little while, but there's been a little bit of change, so we have a little bit more potential freedom. So we're going to take another one of our hotel weekends, right? It's been a while,
Hmm.
which we like to do, and we're going to go to one of our favorite cities and get some good food and just enjoy a beautiful drive. But nevertheless. Um, Looking for a hotel. Now, in Japan, we have a problem where a lot of the newer hotels have no smoking rooms at all. And I'm a smoker, right?
Hmm.
And so she went and she found one that was perfectly located exactly where we need to be, but of course, a non smoking room. And then she found some smoking rooms that she was looking to book for double the price. And I was like,
Hmm.
I can go a few hours without smoking. I can go downstairs, you know.
Just go outside.
Well, I'm just
Go outside.
saying,
Yeah.
I mean, how would you take it? $200 for the room or $400 for the room? What?
200.
Yep. Thank you.
200. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time.
Yeah,
That's not even hard. That's not even a
that's
tough one.
easy.
Yeah.
But she loved me so much, she was willing to spend that extra $200, even though
Aw.
she's probably more frugal than me, really.
Hmm.
Uh, but
Even when it
um,
comes to you.
but with me, there is no frugality, I guess.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
it is because she and I, we are frugal people. I mean, we've had some success and we do pretty well, but we're still frugal, you know,
Yeah.
and
Never goes away.
it doesn't. And of course, this is where the nouveau rich get themselves in trouble.
Yep.
They burn it out immediately, and then they're bankrupt. Right? It's not
Yep.
how you should be living. Live a frugal life, um, with touched moments of luxury. Right? Anyway, segue.
Mm.
Movies this weekend.
Predator Badlands beats box office expectations with a 39 million plus opening.
That's not a lot of money.
Nah.
It's
Mm-mm.
not.
And
Uh,
I don't. Why did they? So they've gone on a decade long or more uh, cuck cucking of all masculine men
Yep.
in all masculine characters.
Yep.
So they just couldn't leave Predator,
No.
an alien demon beast,
Oh
or whatever
God,
the hell
no.
you want to call it,
Certainly not.
alone.
No.
We had to feminize him somehow.
Oh, they did more than that. They did
Of
more than
course they
that.
did.
Can one of you guys do me a favor and see if you can't find the production cost of this Predator
Let's see.
Badlands, please? But I haven't watched it yet, although I probably will. This is it didn't afford 39 million. Like, oh, it made more than expected. That's not a lot of money, right?
No.
And we know they spent more than that. But here's the thing. From all, I haven't seen it myself, but from all the reviews I've watched, and I have watched them, um, it's actually not a bad movie. It's like a 5 or a 6. It's a fun, basically, it's a sci-fi comedy,
Yeah.
right? Action comedy is what it is. What it is not is a Predator movie at all. And a
Well,
matter,
there's only ever been one of those, but yes.
right. But the biggest complaint I'm hearing, and they all have the same complaint, which is interesting, right? Is her. She's annoying as hell. And everybody wished that they just left her out the damn movie and did what the first part of the movie was. The whole movie of that would have been cool because everyone's saying, oh, that was fun. And then they brought her in and she's annoying. And then they bring in another side character. And it's that typical Fast and Furious family.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But this
Oh
is
boy.
not a Predator movie at all. Um, so if you're interested in a Predator movie, this isn't for you. If you're interested, if you can shut your mind down and just have a fun little, sci-fi action comedy, you might enjoy it. And like I said, most
So,
people give it a 5 or a 6. So
My
oh,
my question is with this: why do they keep trying to change genres? Why?
I don't know because they
I
want to
I
make the
understand.
bad guy the good guy. You know how they are.
Not every villain needs to be humanized. There are some people out in this world that are just evil. I don't need a fucking sob story about why the person is evil.
No. Especially in this is clearly a trophy hunter, is what a predator is, or a yamcha.
mhm.
They are trophy hunters, and they come to Earth, amongst other places, to do so. This is not on Earth. There are no humans in this movie at all. Zero humans. That is a replicant, right?
Excellent.
That's not a human. There are no humans in
Chester,
this. Yeah,
$105 million
yeah, yeah. Not bad.
was the production costs.
Double that,
Add another
so
hundo
200 million.
for
Yeah,
marketing.
yeah.
Yep.
So they got some work to do, and
They're
they
at
knock.
about 80 million worldwide, but you always cut that in half. So right
Yeah,
about what that said.
yeah, yeah. So, and who knows? Like I said, you're getting a lot of reviewers coming out and saying it's not woke, and like I haven't seen it myself, but it sounds like it's not woke. The only issue is it's
Okay,
not a Predator movie. Has a lot of comedy that doesn't really hit well, and it's mainly she is the comic relief, right? And
Hmm.
she's not funny is the problem, and she's annoying. So that the biggest
Excellent.
complaint I've heard from everybody is that character, and they wish they had just cut that character out completely and just did what they were doing in the beginning of the movie. Because that sounds like it starts off wonderful.
Predator. Like I said, there's only ever been one Predator movie. It was the first one. It was the only one who understood what they were doing. And since then, they've never been able to recreate it. The second one gets close, but it just feels disjointed, largely just because of the way they set the characters up. Like they set Danny Glover's character up. He's just a cop, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work as well as a
Well,
Commando.
because it's
The point
Danny Glover. That's why.
but the point of the first one, why it works, is because this one creature takes out these other top level human predators.
Right.
That's what these
And
commandos
and
are.
it has a
They're the
great
best killers
twist
in
in
the
it
world.
too. Great twist.
Yeah,
Because the
and
movie
then
doesn't
at the
start as a alien monster movie.
right, and he flips it about 60-70% of the way where the human becomes the predator.
Yeah.
And it was the juxtaposition of that has made that for a forever movie. Like it's one of these movies, it's a classic, it'll always be talked about, always be watched because the psychology that the director did and the screenwriter did, none of the other movies have even attempted that. They either just become action films or cheap horror
Yep.
or whatever the fuck this thing was trying to do. And that's the problem. I would love for another Predator movie. The first Predator movie is a masterpiece simply because it did something so relatively unique with its genre. It's very rare where somebody is willing to do that in a genre that is so niche, right? Arnold was
Yeah.
in it, of course, which made it huge. But if he wasn't in it, it wouldn't have been as popular, but it would still been great. It would still been a
Yeah.
great
It
film.
would have been. Yeah. But also the one thing that the first movie did that they've screwed up ever since is in the first one the alien is very alien.
Yes.
It's in the
Yes.
way it communicates and the way it interacts. They've been humanizing this damn predator to the point that literally you got your little shit nosed brother is now the star.
Yep.
That's what they've
Yep.
done. And
Yep.
keep in mind, like one of the great creepy aspects of the original movie was early on. You had I can't remember his name, but the guy with the glasses tells the dirty jokes. Um,
Mhm.
and what was the Indian's name? Bobby, Billy,
Mm.
Bobby
But
Billy.
I think it, yes,
One of
I think it
those.
was Billy.
And he has a big belly laugh at this dirty joke.
Hmm.
And the predator, of course, we see was watching them. And it recorded that. And then throughout the movie, whether you notice it or not, that predator keeps playing that over and over. The laugh of
Yes,
Billy, right?
just to fuck with him.
Even just to fuck with him, and even in the last moment, as Arnold is running and ducking for cover from the mini nuclear bomb, he lets out the Billy laugh. You
Yep.
never actually get any speech or communication from the predator whatsoever. It's done
Yep.
in this weird, mocking, and very alien feeling way, and it's creepy,
Yep.
right? And
Yep. And
ever
they
since,
also did the Jaws move where you don't see him until much later.
oh yeah, 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 that's
He's
true.
just a force that keeps
Yeah,
killing things.
yeah. But and now we have literally your little snot-nosed brother who's trying to prove himself. It's very human. This new predator is superhuman.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
That was kind of the other problem I had with the second one is they did a lot of world building, and I didn't want that. I don't need that from this. I liked
No.
it being completely mysterious,
Yeah.
just an alien creature, and it just comes and kills people. That's what it does.
Yeah.
I don't need to know why. I don't need to know the ins and outs. I just need to know that it's a problem that needs
Yeah.
to be dealt with. It's kind of like
That's
in
right.
Jaws. I don't need some backstory for the shark. It's a shark.
That's
It
right.
eats people. That's what it
Like
does.
orcs or goblins or what have you.
Yeah,
They're just the enemy, generic enemy. Um,
that's right.
Now, like I said, if you take all conceptions regarding a predator out of your head, and then you just want a fun little action sci-fi comedy with bad
Yep,
comedy, then this is a popcorn weekend for you. But
right.
it is what it is. Grimlock, do you have an opinion?
I mean,
Oh,
you guys pretty much nailed my thoughts about it because I'm like I said, I don't like the we need to humanize such and such character
Yeah.
for reasons. I'm so sick of the modern audience bullshit because we know that doesn't exist. It's
yes.
basically them saying we wrote this for us and fuck you.
Yeah. Now this movie isn't woke though. Let's give it that at least.
Okay, that's
Hmm.
fine, but that's all right. So because
It's a
it's
pretty
not
low
woke,
bar.
that all of a sudden means hey, I should go watch it. No, I mean
No, it's
The
still
movies,
right.
the
It's
as
yeah.
overall hasn't been good in a while. I mean the
No.
best thing Predator has probably done has been in comics, and we're mostly
Hmm.
talking about the Dark Horse series from the '90s.
Yeah,
Yep.
and the one thing that's unfortunate because they didn't put in the movies, right? But in those comic books, they fleshed out exactly the reason why the alien from the xenomorphs, why they
Yeah.
continue
Mhm.
to proliferate is because of the Yamcha.
Yep.
It's their rite of passage, right? One of their rites of passage. So they are the cause of the xenomorph continuing to exist. And
Scourge.
a scourge. But I mean, why didn't we see that in the movie? That would, I mean, we kind of almost did when they were in the Antarctic pyramid, but they didn't really give
That
us
would
any
be pretty
background.
cool. It would be pretty cool if we got a proper, because we've done the Alien versus Predator thing, right? And that's fine.
Yeah,
But it would be very cool if we got a much more proper. The problem that you'll have is kind of like with the Transformers movies and whatever. They just have to inject humans into everything. Imagine if we just got to see their conflict, right? Just
right.
play that out on a bit like it's like a kaiju movie basically. You don't need to we don't need deep lore. We can do a little bit here or there just to make, contextualize why these things are fighting each other. But other than that, let's just party. Let them rip. And
Yeah, they would never do
you
that
don't
though.
get that. Yeah, they won't do that because they have this weird, incredibly outdated idea that they have to have some human elements in it. So what happens is it twists into this where they humanize a character that's not only not human, it should, and for all intents and purposes, despise humans. These are creatures to kill. These are vermin to this thing. We're not equals. We're not anything. That's one of the reasons why at the end of 2, where he earns their respect, is annoying. He shouldn't be able to do that. They should never respect a human. They've been hunting humans forever. We're their prey. We don't like. It's like it'd be like respecting a gnat. Nobody respects a gnat. To
Well,
them, that's what we are.
what makes it so bad at Predator 2? It's not that a human earned his respect. And no offense to Danny Glover, he's a great actor.
Yeah,
He
but
is.
he's
But
not that.
we watched in the first Predator movie him steamroll through what we considered men's men,
Yep. Alphas.
like alphas, and these were trained commandos.
Yep.
They was built to be in the shittiest of situations, and a cop on the edge of retirement
Yeah.
beats
Right. I'm getting
this
too old for this shit, guy.
intergalactic
Right.
trophy hunter.
Right. It's
Yep.
ridiculous. Now imagine if they got Kurt Russell.
Yep.
That would have
They
been
could
Well,
have
good.
they could have done
if he's like
basically the
Snake
same
from Escape
story.
from New York, yes.
Yeah.
You could have done basically the same story, but instead have it be like a SWAT team is getting hunted by this creature in a building, basically like a reverse Die Hard.
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that would have been awesome. That could have been amazing.
Yeah.
But no, we get an old, out of shape Danny Glover who can barely even do the job because he's miscast. To
It
be
is
honest, he's just
miscast
miscast.
because there's no hate against Danny. We all love Danny.
No, Danny's
But
amazing.
I've been avoiding this for a while, but fine, Alan, fine.
Uh-oh.
Adult, I already saw Frankenweenie with John Wayne Bobbitt. Okay. Anyway.
Oh, Alan, you silly Billy.
Oh, we
You're
have
silly goose.
Maple Chic, and he was celebrating the Guy Fawkes Day. I saw.
He was.
Yeah.
He did. Yep. He's a big fan.
You're not British, Chic.
They do have the king on their money.
You're Canadian.
Actually, do they have the king? Did they switch it over?
I'm sure they have. Oh, Canada. See? All right.
Listen, they're about to be India. They don't slow the hell down with the Indian
Well,
imports.
they
It's
are.
outrageous.
They are. Now I'm just gonna put this out here. I'm gonna get some coffee. Go ahead.
Oh. Zack Snyder gives, quote, 0 fucks in new image. Oh boy, Zack. Zack, buddy,
You can
please.
just go away.
Dude,
Can you please just go
Netflix
away, my
Just
friend?
is
the
putting
fuck
money
away.
behind this guy. They're really pushing. They want Warner Brothers, dude.
Well,
I'm
here's
gonna
what's
get some
crazy
coffee.
to me about Snyder. Snyder has done, I'll give him 3 okay to really good movies. He has. I'll give him. But those were a long time ago. When was the last time Zack Snyder put out anything anybody was like, wow, that was amazing? It's been 20 years, give or take.
Dude,
Uh,
I've watched a lot of
Wow.
different people, and I know there are some diehard Snyder fans out there, and even they had to admit that Rebel Moon was the drizzling shits.
Drizzling shits.
It's-
Just terrible from beginning to end. Yeah.
I mean, like, what? How long is he going to skate on Watchmen and 300?
Apparently, the entire rest of his life. And you know me, everybody knows me who's listened to this. I can't stand Watchmen for various reasons. I think it's fine internally, but the effect of it is the problem. But even then, the best part of that movie was the performance of the guy playing Rorschach, whose name escapes me at the moment. Other than that, the rest of that movie was pretty much shit. It just wasn't very good. The performances weren't very good. It was a lot of like very wooden delivery of the lines, especially Ozymandias. He was terrible. I don't care what anybody says. He did not have the gravitas he needed to be that guy. And so you had him skating on Watchmen because it's Watchmen, and it's one of those cultural comics. And because of that, it was successful as a film. But 300, I'll give them all day. 300, in my opinion, is damn near an action masterpiece. Is it a masterpiece of film, like as an art? Of course not. But when it comes to what they were trying to do, it does everything you could want and more. And it's actually kind of surprising it hasn't been aped more, right? It was just kind of its own deal, and there really wasn't too many copycats of it. And that's very strange to me. But it's a very obviously, based on the comic. But here's the problem. Here's the dirty little secret. I remember because I had the DVD of it, the big edition, whatever the hell DVD back in the day. I don't even know where it is now. But I had it way back in the day. And on there, in the commentary, Snyder and Mr. Miller were in there, Mr. Frank Miller. And they come to say through this commentary, that it was pretty much co-directed by Frank Miller. He wasn't given credit for it, but he was on set every day. He oversaw every shot. He vetoed shots. He said, no, let's do it this way. Let's do it that way. So Schneider's getting a lot of credit for something he didn't even really fully do, is my point. And that tells me a lot about Mr. Snyder, because he's never really, okay, he had Rebel Moon. It was garbage. It wasn't, and not even like, oh, I just don't like it. No, that was trash filmmaking by all accounts. From a technical standpoint, from every standpoint you can come at it, it was like amateur hour with a big budget. That's what it looked like. That's what it felt like. And so he's never really done anything original. What's he done that's been original, that's been his own baby, that he killed it with, to have all of this energy about him like he's some grand filmmaker? He's not fucking Steven Spielberg.
Well,
He's not George Lucas. He's not even fucking what's his name? The fucking not 300, the fucking Batman guy in the what the hell's his name? The guy who
Matt
made
Reeves.
Batman. No. The guy who made oh my gosh, The Dark Knight. My brain just doesn't want to remember his name. Yeah, Nolan. He's not even Nolan. And I can't stand most of Nolan's work, but at least he can put together something relatively original and get it out there and get it done. This guy, I'm trying to think, what was his big original project that wasn't based on some other franchise that had its gravitas behind it, like his DC stuff, that wasn't, or even the 300 stuff, wasn't based on somebody else's work.
I'm not even
I got
surprised
nothing.
about if it's true that Miller had a huge say so in 300, because I remember when Miller first started doing the Hollywood stuff with RoboCop 2, and he had a kind of a sour taste in his mouth of how those two movies worked out.
Yep, that's what they said in the commentary. That's what Frank said in the commentary. Because of the way those movies played out, he would not let the reins go completely. He said that exactly. He wasn't going to allow them to fuck it up, basically. And so he was on set either every day or just about every day, making sure it was, going a direction he liked. And it's not surprising to me, because like I said, I think it's, for what it is, it's a masterpiece. They set out to do something and they did it. They nailed it. It's about as good as you're going to nail it. I mean, to this day, it's one of those movies that as soon as it came out, the memes were endless, just endless to this day.
Yep.
Whether the Spartan kick or the then we'll fight in the shade, or a god can bleed. There's just endless memes from this movie. Some of them darker than others about the rape scene. Just
What
It's
movie?
one of those things. 300. It's
Oh,
one of those. It's one of those
there's a
movies
rape
that,
scene?
yeah, that there's a big. It's a big cultural
Is there?
phenomenon. Yeah, his wife Leonidas' wife gets raped by that counselor guy. Uh, and then she kills him and cuts his dick off. Later.
That's how you get
Anyway,
revenge.
yeah, she does it right in front of everybody. Um, but regardless, besides that, my point is the amount of cultural impact that 300 itself had has carried this fuckwit to so much opportunity. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What I was saying while you were gone, Chester, is name the original Zack Schneider project that was so amazing that everybody needs to watch.
300?
The original. That's not an original. That was Frank
That's
Miller.
Frank Miller.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
there
that's
isn't one.
true. Sucker Punch?
And Frank was on. Frank was on set every day. I used to have like the special edition DVD, and they had a commentary like interview thing on there, and Frank was in it, and he said, and Grimlock mentioned this, that because of what happened with RoboCop, he didn't trust Hollywood at all. So he wanted to oversee as much as he could. So he was on set every day, basically. And this was Snyder who said this. Basically, co-directed this entire film. Frank
I
Miller did.
agree with the Howl about Sucker Punch.
Yeah. Well,
Because holy
here's
fuck, did those commercials look better than what the fucking movie actually was?
yeah, that was a missed opportunity. Cause there could have been something there. And
Yep.
it probably wasn't his original work anyway. But um Zack Schneider also did the Legend of the Guardians, the Elves of Ga'Hoole.
Yeah.
And don't forget
How much money did
that.
that make?
Yeah, Rebel Moon, big success.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Um,
Yeah.
but here's the thing. Um,
Cinematic abortion. Rebel Moon.
Netflix is making a play. They've decided that
Hey, lady.
Zack Schneider can be a PR spokesman for them. And why
Hmm.
is that? And I guess it's because of, well, I don't know, what do we call the Schneider boys?
A cult?
Yeah, them.
Yeah.
And they're putting that in play to try to drum up some sympathy for them to try to get a hold of Warner Brothers Discovery. And for me, it's
I,
fascinating. It's
I have a
fascinating, dude.
question.
Yeah.
Because if Netflix wants to buy the Warner Brothers, which I'm against, but um, why not instead of Zack Snyder, a guy you just gave a fuck ton of money to throw some dog shit on you? How about you go if you're gonna reach into the well of people you worked with previously? How about a guy who actually oversaw some success on your own platform? The guy's name is Jeff Loeb.
Or
Remember
Steven
when the Marvel Netflix
Spielberg.
series was no,
Oh, you're talking about
the Marvel
Netflix. Oh,
Netflix
yeah. Okay.
series.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, remember when those series came out and it was actually really fucking good?
Yeah, no, I do
We had
remember.
a great
Yeah.
Daredevil and Jessica Jones, at least season one, Luke Cage.
Well,
I
halfway through
mean,
season one.
they should not have killed Cottonmouth all so
No, he was
fast.
amazing.
They sh-
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But
but even still, it was fine. But I'm just saying, Jeff Loeb was one of the executive producers
yeah.
on all of those series. So the guy has been successful. He knows these properties better than anybody you're going to hire, including Zack Snyder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not?
Well, I'm more interested in Netflix's play. That is interesting to me because he is divisive, Zack Schneider. Now, to be fair, he did do 300. He did Watchmen, right?
Yeah.
There's
Hmm.
a bunch of stuff he did, and he has had some success, and he's made some money. But he is very controversial. But they're making a straight up play. Now, keep in mind, the first image he put out was of Henry Cavill as Superman. And then Zach, a few days later, put out an image of the Batman with the Ben Afflecks. But
Netflix.
today, he's put out another image,
Uh-oh.
tantalizing us. Hey! If Netflix gets a hold of Warner Brothers, you're going to get more of this.
Oh God. Imagine
Yeah,
looking at the Joker. One
that's
of
reason enough not to bring him back.
Uh, I
Imagine
just
looking at the
said it's
Joker.
it's a play, right? This is a weird little play going on by Netflix. And I'm kind of
Yep.
wondering whose thought process is going on here. Because damn, dude, that right there ends the conversation because that, I know
Nobody
Jared
wants
Leto is
this.
very hated. Okay, I get it, but
Dude,
that
that
was
doesn't even
bad
look like the
shit, dude. That
Joker.
was wrong.
He doesn't even look like the Joker. You know what that looks like?
A
It
crackhead.
looks like a
Marilyn
community.
Manson on
It looks like
crack.
a community play about Charles Manson on LSD.
Yeah, 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 something like that. A serial killer, yeah.
But imagine looking at the Joker, seeing a character that is iconic, has a very specific look that everybody would immediately recognize if you just did it, because he kept trying to pretend like he was, he's a great comic fan and he wants to bring these characters, blah blah blah, right? All that bullshit that they always say, and then he brings this bullshit at us, where we have anorexic crackhead. He looks like he's a fentanyl addict, Joker, uh, who apparently has face tattoos and then didn't have them for some reason, and then had them again. I don't know. Played by a man who is a walking anti box office character. Everything he's in and touches and leads gets destroyed in the box office, and it has pretty much since always. And somehow he keeps getting work. It's very amazing to me. Um, and you take one of the most cool, one of the most beloved, maybe the most beloved besides the big three
Darth Vader.
comic book characters of all
Oh, okay.
time. Well, villains, he's top five for sure,
Yeah.
at least in like pop culture. But just comic book in general. And you turn him into whatever the fuck that's supposed to be.
It
That
was
looks like
weird.
something Rob Zombie came up with on a bender. That's what it looks like.
Right. And Rob Zombie would have done a better job with it because he would have made
He
his wife
absolutely
do it.
would have.
But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, no, this was the worst failure I've seen in casting in quite a while. We were talking about bad casting with Danny Glover. This was bad. It's just not the Joker. And, fair enough. I mean, Joker is kind of a serial killer. I get that. But the Joker, a lot of people don't understand it. And even though Heath Ledger was praised for his role, he was kind of on the edge of Joker, really. Joker is chaos. That's
Yes.
what he
Yes.
is. He's not a drug head. He's not a gang leader. He's not a serial killer. He's just chaos for the sake of it. He is a servant of chaos. And that
Mhm.
is all he cares about. That is his entire point. He doesn't, and a lot of people misunderstand this, like with Lex Luthor, for instance, we were talking about. Lex
Yep.
wants Superman dead.
Correct.
100%. And he always has. He wants Superman dead, dead. Right? The
Yep.
Joker doesn't want Batman dead. He
No.
loves the Batman.
Batman's great.
Yeah,
Batman's a good time. Batman's his drug, if you will.
in
If
a
you want to say
way.
he's addicted to anything, it's Batman. Uh, yeah, it's actually shocking they haven't tried to make them in some sort of weird gay relationship by now. To be honest, as obsessed with Joker is with
Don't
Batman,
throw shit into the nether like
uh,
that.
t- that idea has already come up in their disgusting
No,
boardrooms, and you know it.
Grimlock,
You know it.
digitally slap him.
But no, that's one of the reasons why that was my one of my
It
main
wasn't
gripes
great, Alan. Yeah.
with Luthor in the new Superman movie is they cheapened him by making him just completely. I don't care if Luthor has envy for Superman, that's fine. But saying that it's his whole motivation that's led him to hate him, that's not at all why Luthor hates Superman.
Yeah,
Luthor
I
hates
get your
Superman
point on
because of
that.
everything he represents.
I get your point on
Um,
that. Yeah.
yeah, so it's but regardless, that is still a far better characterization than whatever the fuck this clown is. And I say clown without any irony because that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. The Joker might paint his face, but this is
And
ridiculous.
the thing is, I don't blame Jared Leto for this. I blame
Well, no, he
Zack
just did what he was
Snyder.
told. Yeah,
That's
he
right.
just did what he was told.
you know. And the thing is, people give Jared Leto a lot of shit, and fair enough. Maybe he's not marketable, but I've never seen him not do exactly what he was told to do.
Yep.
He's not a diva. We've never heard that about him. He's not out there like, no, I feel the character should be this. Now, to be fair, when he did the Joker, he sent a lot of weird gifts to people because he was trying to do the what do they call that? The type of
Method
acting,
acting.
method acting, and
Yep.
okay, slap him twice for that. But he does what he's told to do, right? So if you go to get mad at someone, get mad at the people that are directing him, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I agree with that. Look, anybody who decided that design or pitched it to him, I thought that was a great idea. They should have been
yeah,
fired on the spot.
they should have been. Well, Zack Snyder should have never had the project, but for some reason we have Schneider boys now. You guys here try to explain to me why there is a group of people that are so just absolutely clingy to the Snyderverse. Please, and we got a clinger here in Booster, so maybe he can help out.
Oh,
Oh
been called out. He's been called out.
yeah,
Um,
more like
I
method
don't know.
acting. That's true, Booster.
I
Uh,
have no answers for this question. Nothing he did was revolutionary or even all that incredible at
no,
all. The best things that he did was he was pretty good at casting, at
yeah.
least
Well,
for
Henry,
the big three.
Until at least till he
Henry,
cast Ezra Miller.
yeah. Well, then we got to Ezra Miller and Jared Leto, and we got to the queerest of all Lex Luthors with Sandberg. But
yeah,
other than
but I
that,
don't know how
when it
much
came
he
to the
had to
big
do with
three,
that, though.
I don't
I,
either. But when it came to the big
you know,
three, he
you
did a
know
pretty
what?
good job.
Uh, you know what? I'm gonna make a controversial statement. Compared to a Luthor, Flash, and I'll say this: I still say Margot Robbie was not a good Harley Quinn. Jared Leto was at least a better hire than those three.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
Um,
if Margot Robbie just shuts her damn mouth and just kind of twitches her ass,
She
I'm all good for it.
she wasn't even close to being a fit for that character. But then again, they've bastardized Harley so horribly.
They have,
The
yeah,
character that people actually liked from the '90s is now a fucking time capsule.
yeah. But you know what I mean. She's cutie.
yep.
Mm,
Especially back then. I don't know about anymore, but back then for
Yeah,
sure.
she's a cutie.
Um, but no, it's a shame. It's a real shame if this gets resurrected again. This has been tried, Netflix. I don't know why you insist on trying it again, but it has been tried. And if that is the goal to somehow yet again resurrect the Snyderverse, they're going to get burned so hard. And the worst part is the only real thing that's tragic about the whole thing is the best Superman we've had since the 70s gets burned in it every time.
Booster. Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
no, I agree, Booster. That movie was really bad. My daughter and son, who are big Batman fans, right?
yeah,
Particularly the Joker, they like the bad guy for some reason. I did something wrong.
yeah.
But anyway,
They because you're their father. That's why. Go ahead.
yes, the opposite of dad, because Superman. But we went to see that movie as a family. It's one of the last movies we saw as a family before the kids started going to university, and they hated that movie. They hated it.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
first one, they were mixed about it because Superman wasn't being very Superman-ish, which of
yeah.
course you're right. But they hated that freaking Batman versus Superman, and it was a slog, dude, an absolute slog. It was just, oh, whoever came up with the idea of Batman versus Superman is so stupid. It's so
It is.
stupid. There is no contest.
No,
And there's no contest in the weird backward way because Superman would never really take it to him anyway.
no. Well, the other thing is, if for some reason Superman decided to, I don't care how much Batman plans,
He ain't,
Superman's going to win.
you ain't dealing with
Uh,
it. Yeah.
you ain't. There's just Superman could destroy the whole planet with
Yeah.
ease. It's not
Well,
even a problem for him.
right, because Superman is the ultimate plot device, which is why it's so
Yes,
hard to write for him.
yes. Martha. Yeah, it was so stupid, so contrived. Especially considering. Let me explain how retarded that scene is just really quick. You have Superman there basically dying, and he screams out his mother's name for some reason, which no one would ever do. If he was going to do anything like that, he would scream mother or mom. But he wouldn't do that anyway. But you had Lois right there, who's the one who adds context to it anyway. Why didn't he just have her say something about Martha? Say something about we'll get you back to Martha or something. Whisper it in his ear and have Batman overhear it. It would have made way more sense than Superman just yell it out for some reason while he's being speared. It's so stupid. So stupid.
True. Very true. I'm actually kind of curious in my brain, just had a brain moment. It's now I'm pretty sure you correct me if I'm wrong, Grimlock, but um Martha Kent has always been Martha Kent, right?
I
Right?
believe, yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But is Martha Wayne?
I believe so. For as long as I
Pretty
can
sure, yeah.
remember it.
It's always been Thomas and Martha Wayne. Pretty sure. I
Okay,
don't think they were named for a long time. Like we didn't
so
know their names for a
who
long
at
time.
DC's idea was it to take two characters who look almost identical anyway and then make
Yeah.
their mom have the same name? What's all that about?
Um,
Happened a lot back
I'll go
then.
with the pragmatic answer is they were just lazy and they wanted to. It's easier to just keep drawing that same face for Superman and Batman. Or maybe they were just being weird. Because you know how these artists are, Chester. They're weird. They do weird things for weird reasons. They have inside jokes with themselves, and they think they're hilarious in these comics. Like we see it all the time. We hear about like Ethan Van Sciver's talked about the ones he did for his own amusement, for no one else, his own amusement. Uh, it's just I think these people are just you got to be kind of defective
Yeah, because
to be a comic bro.
isn't like one of them like J. Scott Campbell? Like every female's face is basically his wife.
Yeah, that
Fair
sounds about
enough,
right.
but that is a weird little coincidence.
It
Maple
is.
Chic says, "Can we still have maple leaf on the American flag instead of the star?" No.
You can have one. We'll give you one in the
Down, down
corner where
in
no
the
one can
down
see
in
it.
the bottom left corner.
Yeah, where no
Well,
one
look,
can see it.
as fat as we've become, I'm gonna go to George Carlin route. We should replace the stars with a big bowl of mac and cheese, and we could put a side of
Well,
poutine on it.
Hmm.
now you're
Hmm.
talking my language. All right,
Yeah,
mac and
yeah.
cheese. I'm in.
So I'm glad to see Maple Chic is finally coming around to the reality that Canada will become America, at least in pieces.
Mhm.
We
Oh, he's
haven't.
for it.
Yeah. Oh,
He's
he
for
is.
it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it
Let it
should have
move to
been.
Alberta; they'll be the first.
Dude, it should have happened decades, centuries ago, really. But
Yep.
yeah, we'll see. I haven't heard much about that old Greenland stuff, but I'm sure
Yeah, I don't
there's
know what's
some.
up with that. That conversation got shut down. I have a feeling it'll pick back up eventually, though.
Well, he
Uh,
is a bit busy.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes, he's
he
getting
was doing
hammered from all
commentary
fronts
at
here.
the Lions and Commanders game earlier.
Yep.
Who was?
Trump.
Trump.
Oh, was he?
Yep.
That
Yeah,
guy is
I was
so.
watching the game.
The energy of that dude and his travel,
It's
constant travel all over the damn world, it's ridiculous. He went all over Asia. He came back in time to pass out candy at the White House.
Yep,
he doesn't sleep.
and
I don't know
It's
what
and he
I
was
don't know
insane,
what he's
dude.
made of.
And then
So
and
he was
then the
that. And
apparently,
liberals bitch that he was giving candy out at the White House. What the fuck? Every president
every
does that.
president does that.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that they spazzed out once they saw. I don't know if they called him from called him from his box or he asked to come down. But midway through the third quarter, he was doing commentary with Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma.
Jesus
Yep.
Christ. Trump, dude. I mean,
He's crazy.
and they go on about his cognitive decline and all that kind of nonsense. It's like you do
Maybe he's just
realize
fucking tired.
we can see with our own eyes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, just one.
Well,
Maple Chic
the other
says, "All
thing
right,
that's
fine,
funny
fine."
is Vance was given some interview. I don't remember with whoever, and he was talking about how the president, how Trump has just this reserve of energy that even he doesn't understand. So they'll be on Air Force One flying to wherever they're going, and if the president decides he's not going to sleep, which is more often than not, nobody's sleeping. You got to be up now. The president's up, so you got to be up. And he'll just be up all night, just cracking jokes, talking shit. Vance basically said he'll just be up all night, just doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And 80 years old, this
And
man. It's insane.
juxtapose that to the dude that was before.
Oh
Because
God,
he's been eating Big Macs and Diet Coke for like
Yep.
what
He's
50
fueled on
years
Big
now.
Macs.
Yes.
Maybe all those preservatives got in there and
They've kept them
preserved
up.
his energy
They've
levels.
kept them up. Well, anyway, I put this in here just because I'm fascinated by Netflix Play. I don't know if
Mhm.
it'll work out for them, but it's I just would love to have been a fly on the wall in the boardroom. It's like, okay, we need a PR guy. Let's get that
Yeah,
Zack Snyder guy. Everyone loves him, right? Yeah. But then
yeah. I
again, we
really
look at the
don't want this to
decisions.
happen.
No, but in
I mean,
no,
if you're gonna keep somebody who's doing middling work, why not just keep Gundam? You already got them
yeah,
on fucking payroll
and you
if you
do,
buy Warner.
and you might get Henry back.
Hmm. Hmm.
Although
Be
you know
nice.
who's going to get caught up on
Would
all
Henry
this
want to come
nonsense?
back at this point? If anything, if I'm Henry, I want to be like Frank Miller. I want the fucking keys to the damn thing. I'm not
Well,
coming
that's what
back
he's
on the
trying to
assembly.
do with the Warhammer stuff, right? That exact thing. Uh,
Yeah, but it sounds like
I don't
that's
know. I
going to
wouldn't hate
happen.
him as Batman. I think he could play a good Batman. That's been floated. Him being Batman in the new DC stuff. Henry, I think he can pull that off.
Yeah, he's perfect Superman.
Anyway, GTA 6 delay caused by union busting, claims Rockstar employee. Rockstar is a British company, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
Uh, I find that very interesting because they've been very union for a very, very long time, the old
Well,
Brits.
it's interesting you say it like that
Mm.
because, well, there's a couple factors here. One, for a very long time, these big video game companies will have this big, you know, cram of work to get things done and finished. And as soon as they get it done and prior to release, they fire everybody. It's a trend, right? They have no loyalty to anyone. They bring you in, get the job, pay you, and they get the hell out. That's how they are.
Yep.
One. So I'm curious how much of that is in this. But you're right, they are British, and the British are very, very protective of their unions. They do love them.
Yes.
And they are being accused. Basically, 34 workers from UK and Canada, all union members, were fired. And they said it was because of a Discord chat that was, what was the word they used? Something regarding malicious. Um,
Gross misconduct, it says.
Gross misconduct.
Terminated
Yeah.
for gross misconduct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it sounds like this might actually violate UK law, so Rockstar might be in a lot of actual trouble. However, do keep in mind they have pushed this back to November of next year, and I have a
Yep.
feeling it'll be pushed back even more
Which is
because
wild.
which is wild. But the amount of controversy around Grand Theft Auto 6 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I've never played one of these games, though, so I have no clue.
You should. They're good.
Eh, maybe. It doesn't
Um,
sound. I don't like having to play a character I'm told to have to play. I don't like it.
oh well, yeah. Well, then 5 would probably be the one you should play. They're in a shared universe, but you don't have to play the other ones. They're their own stories. Uh, but 5, you get to jump around between 3 different characters. There's 3 different protagonists,
Yeah. See,
but you
I'd
do have to
prefer it.
play them occasionally.
Right. I'd
Um,
prefer if I can make my own character and just exist in
you
the
can
world.
online. You
Oh,
can play
okay.
it online like that and play with other people that way. Uh, but regardless, the crazy thing to me isn't all this stuff because at this point it's is what it is. We're getting close to 20 years since GTA 5 came out. Just so
Wow.
we're clear, everybody.
Wow.
It's been 2 decades almost. I believe GTA 5 came out in 2012 or 2011. If this goes much further, we're getting close. We're getting close. We're at
It
about
is
15
2012.
mark.
It was 2012 because the meme was Mario Kart 8 had also debuted the same year that
Yeah.
GTA 5, and Nintendo beat them to the punch.
Oh, I see.
So by the time this comes out, we'll be at 15 years between games, between GTA games, if it comes out next year. If
Which
that's
it
assuming.
probably won't.
Yeah.
And it is interesting how much money they've made off it, though. Rockstar
Oh,
is
it's
a
the most
very
successful
successful
game of all
company.
time.
Yeah.
GTA 5 is, and it's because of the online. That's why they didn't really do anything to the single player campaign. They didn't really add any DLC or anything like that. They did some updates when they ported it between consoles. They added things here or
Right.
there, but mostly just Easter egg stuff. But they didn't really do anything other than that. So it's all off of the online play and the way they monetized it, which was largely very smart. You can play it as much as you want for free whenever you want. At least it used to be free. I'm assuming it still is. And
Yep.
but then in order to get certain things, like if you want to get a bunch of money or whatever, you can just buy it straight up.
Right.
Just give them money and they'll give you millions of dollars or whatever. Uh, but it's brilliant the way they monetize it, the way they've ran it. The one of the reasons why it's been so long between them is because it was so successful. GTA Online was so successful that they weren't in any rush to get to
Hmm.
6. Plus, they were working
Sure.
on Red Dead Redemption 2, which is arguably the greatest game ever made, and it's barely an argument. Uh, and that took them about a decade as well. But I mean, that game, if
Hmm.
you want to talk about attention to detail, there's nothing that's even close
Well,
in video games.
and you don't need what you don't need. It's if it's
Yeah.
not necessary, what's the point?
Well,
Now,
you don't need
lady.
that level of attention to detail in GTA games. It just it's that's not the GTA game is supposed to be much more fun, much more fluid. Most people when they play it, if they're not doing a mission, they're just out causing chaos, right? They're just driving around in cars, blowing things up, and just causes as much chaos as they possibly can because it's fun, right?
Mhm.
It's a big sandbox.
and
You can go around and blow things up and kill people and whatever you want to do.
and you get transgenders. Nice.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's not shocking. But no, the success that Rockstar has had with GTA 5 is unprecedented. It is the single biggest piece of media to ever exist, and it's not close. I think last time I checked, we checked this like last year. I think it was like $6 billion they made off just that game,
Yeah,
um,
a lot of
which
money.
is outrageous
Yeah.
for one piece of media.
So
So
they can chill along quite easily. Yeah, no
yeah,
problem.
they're not hurting. They got plenty of time, plenty
Although
of
they say
money. They got
morale
plenty
is
of
very
everything.
bad.
Well, yeah, but they're British. When is the morale ever good?
It's fair. That is fair.
Yeah. But it
Uh,
is interesting that it's a British company who have made this grand American crime fantasy game
yeah.
for this long. And the guy was asked, the head of it was asked recently why it's always in America, and he gave one word for his answer. Can you guess what it was, Chester? One
What?
word: guns.
Yeah,
That's
guns.
it.
It'll do.
That's the only reason.
Americans love the guns. Ladies talking about No Man's Sky. Now that's a game that came out real bad at launch, but has actually fixed itself pretty well.
Yep, yep, yep. As far what I understand,
I
it's
just
quite the game now. Quite the
I
game.
think that's part of the thing that I think they've looked at the landscape and they've seen because you make somebody wait 15 years for your next game. You don't want to hear shit about day one patches.
No, that better be ready to
You don't
go.
want to.
That better be
You
ready to
don't want
go.
to. You don't want to hear shit about not optimized.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Uh,
Fair point. Anyway, I just
and
put
I
this up
also
here because I thought it was interesting.
It
and
is.
as
It
much
is.
as
More
and as much as they don't want
transgenders.
to talk and as much as they don't want to talk about it, I think the political landscape changing the way that it has over the last year.
Yep.
I think they looked at it and said,
This
we
won't work.
just lost our main writer, our
Yep.
uh, a lot of the stuff that we was doing. We got some blowback for bending the knee to the Australian group a few years ago. It looked like the pendulum was swinging one way, but now it is clearly swinging the other.
True, true.
Maybe we ought to
Yeah.
take this out.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point because their game does not exist well within the step hierarchy of the progressives, for sure.
Right.
No.
It doesn't.
It's the antithesis to them. But its popularity also shows you that a lot of their popularity and success that the progressives have had over the past decade, which they have had success, whether you like it or not, has
Mhm.
been basically a head nod from the average person, like, yeah, whatever.
Yes.
And that's why they've
By
gotten
and
away
large.
with it. Yeah.
Chester, I think that's the one of the main characters of the new game. I don't believe she's a transgender.
Oh, I'm pretty sure
She's
that's a
just
transgender, 100%.
she's
It's
just
got,
a Latina.
dude, it's got an Adam's apple. What are you talking about? Look at it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Latina, yeah. No, it's from what we understand, it's going to be a very Bonnie and Clyde style story, which is kind of a problem. And the reason it's kind of a problem isn't because I don't think anybody who's played a GTA game has been against the idea of it being with a chick, right? She being the chick being like the character you play. It's always been dudes. But the reason why it's a problem is because one of the core themes. This is a legendary thing you can do in this game,
It
Chester. And
is
in
a
fact,
dude.
if you play the game without cheating, without cheating, it's one of the only ways to regain your health is you can pick up prostitutes and have sex with them.
Oh, I
Now,
see.
if this is some grand love story, it's going to be a little sketchy, right? It's going to be a little
Prostitute
sketchy.
healing potions. Okay.
Prostitute healing powers. That's correct,
I,
sir.
I would say the biggest concern with for me with her being a main character more so than even that is that one of the main things about the GTA characters, no matter which one you have a preference of throughout the series, is they're not good people.
No, they're all the bad guys. Everybody's the bad guy. There is
Well, yeah,
no
that's the whole
And
there
point.
is no
It's
good
called
guy.
Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
and
It's a
and
crime
and
fantasy.
y- and I mean you've had varying shades. I mean, depending on which game you've played, you've had varying shades of bad.
Yeah.
And all I want is that if she's going to be one of the main characters, I want her to be just as amoral as everybody that's come before her. She doesn't
Well,
have to
now
be
first
Trevor.
off,
She doesn't have to be Trevor. But
nobody can be Trevor.
but but I don't
So
need speeches. I don't want to hear
no.
shit about representation. No, I want her to say if somebody gives her shit about pronouns, she shoots them and says those are my pronouns.
Mm, be nice.
That's what I want from her.
Oh, I see.
So for
But why
context,
do
Chester,
the only two female I see look like dudes? Explain it.
well, because they're British and they don't know how to make hot chicks, I guess. I don't know. But for context, Chester, Trevor in GTA 5, he's one of the protagonists you can play as. There's three of them. There's Trevor, Michael, and Franklin.
Hmm.
And Trevor is a complete psychopath. Just he's completely insane.
Okay.
Degenerate to the core and utterly insane. So I don't know if like he said, I don't know if we need her to quite be Trevor, but she needs to be at the very least as an unrepentant bastard as Michael was. Because he was a bastard. He was a straight bastard.
That is an ugly ass woman, dude.
Yeah, I don't know why we couldn't get a pretty Latina. If we're gonna pick a chick, why can't she be hot?
Dude, that is a dude.
To
I'm
be
telling
honest,
you,
the
that's
the
a
women the
dude.
women have never been the strong suit of GTA.
But
Well,
yet
They've
the
you
always
cover
have
been
sex
image.
kind
with
of rough looking.
prostitutes for your healing potion? What?
Well, they're prostitutes. They're not usually pretty.
And little baby, when you're on hard times, and she say yes.
um,
What the hell is
the
that?
covers of most of the GTA games have usually had some form of very sexy female on them, as far as like the cover art. But we'll see what six does.
Okay. The hair. Alrighty.
Uh huh. Hmm.
Yeah, I understand, but this is not my kind of game at all, dude.
How I would play Grand Theft Camel if they did one in the Middle East. I would fucking die laughing playing that shit.
Red Theft Camel.
Look, I
Another
would pay
chick that looks like
$100
a
if they
dude,
did that.
man.
That's the same chick.
Well, there's the same problem, I guess. All right, whatever. But yeah, it's not coming, and you probably won't get it 2027, I would
Yep.
imagine. But anyway, let's move on to an interesting story.
Hilarious. Jeremy Renner accused of sending explicit photos and threatening to call ICE on that lady. I'm not going to say that nonsense. Get a normal name,
He's
Chinese.
out. Yeah, she's Chinese. Now, Jeremy's had a little bit trouble with the ladies before. He had an ugly divorce. Uh, excuse me. And she made many accusations, but then again, women in the West, when they get a divorce, they make all kind of nasty accusations because
Yeah.
in the end, it didn't help her, right? So the
Hmm.
court didn't side with her on that, and we know how the courts are. Also, everyone around this guy has refuted any of those claims from her as far as his character. Now, it sounds like that from her, they had a romantic relationship going on. From him, it sounds like he's like, huh? and she has been. He's worked with her, of course, but she's been causing all kind of consternations. And he made a funny little, Instagram or Twitter comment, call ICE. But now this lady here, and fair enough, I guess. Not a bad looking, but keep in mind this is Chinese that's got herself in a position of power and wealth. We know what that means. We know what
Yep.
that means,
CCP.
right? There's no way she's not in some way affiliated with the CCP. It's impossible if you don't understand how
Correct.
that system works. But fair enough, not a bad looking
She's a
lady.
honeypot. Honeypot.
Honeypot is what she is, and she was in a relationship with your favorite guy.
Mm-hmm.
So she
Honeypot.
was in a relationship with him, and he could desperately do everything could get away from her. And of course, Jeremy here, he's made several statements, and I love this little thing. And she sends, "Go to hell. All names are given. You're a pig. You'll use apps to send dick pics. No one said anything so far." And his response
Immigration.
and his response was, yeah, immigration will be notified of your et cetera, et cetera. He's not playing this. His responses have not been of a guy who has seen this lady naked at all. At
Yep.
all. His responses are like, huh? What? What are you doing, you crazy psycho bitch? Is really what he's coming out at. And of course, her accusations, once again, poorly timed, but then again, no one says that the CCP is particularly smart because they're not.
Yep.
Many of these accusations are of him doing these and saying these things, and she locked herself in a bathroom because he was being violent and yada yada. All kind of accusations, right? No proof whatsoever, just accusations. Him sending dick pics and stuff like that. She said she had a video, but then all of a sudden she doesn't have a video. Interesting.
Uh-huh.
But
Of
keep in mind,
course.
all of this is when he literally was near dead, busted up with his freaking eye
That's
popped
right.
out of his head, busted up
That's
with his
correct.
back, his spine,
Crippled.
everything. The guy could even barely move when all
But
of
yet
this
he could
happened.
manage a dick pic.
And,
I
and he could
mean,
manage
if
Priorities,
there's a
man.
being
will, there's a
violent,
way.
threatening her, right?
Yeah. If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
No, it's ridiculous. By all accounts, Jeremy Renner is a good guy. By
That's
all
what
accounts.
everybody else says. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he got angry and said some shit. Sure, it
He probably
happens.
pissed her
But I
off
don't
because she
believe.
was being
Yeah.
pushy. She wanted something from him, and he wasn't
Yes.
willing to give it because they were working together in a couple little mini projects he's done since his injury, because he's not really in shape to, I'd
Well,
imagine
he was
still
almost
that only
killed.
happened
I
a
mean,
couple years ago. It's not
yeah,
it's
that
not
was a
that long ago.
brutal
Yeah,
accident. By the way, they trying to help somebody too when that happened.
he was.
Oh,
That's
by
right.
the way, he's a good guy. Yeah, he almost got killed trying to save a stranger. What an asshole.
And
Uh, it's just
I
bullshit.
will.
Everybody knows it's
I will say.
bullshit. I do
I will
like
say
that
this
he
though.
threatened to call immigration on her though. That's
it's
hilarious.
hilarious.
I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
I will say this though. If I was on my deathbed, I would be sending dick pics.
Well, I've never sent a dick pic in my life. Um,
Hey, look. If
heard.
on my way out, I'm just telling them what they can suck. I'm just like,
Fair
hey, look.
enough. Fair enough. But now
No,
keep in mind,
it's always been felt weird to me, even when like back in the day before I was married and whatever. Just no. Why do you no? You'll see it in
yeah,
person, darling. You don't need to
yeah.
see it through your screen.
Now, the interesting thing, all the evidence against him is coming from her and her people only, right?
Yep.
Nothing else. A matter of fact, I do believe I saw in one of those little interactions, a person defending him said that during that incident, because she did actually go because he's laid up, right? So she
Right.
actually did go to his house because he's literally in a special hospital bed, to talk about upcoming projects that they were going to try to keep him in and work him in, because he was rehabilitating himself. But she's making it seem like she was the only person in the house and he was being violent and drinking and she had to lock herself in the bathroom. But this guy was like, dude, I was there.
In a wheelchair.
Well, not Renner,
I,
another guy.
I'm saying Renner was
in
You
a
know,
wheelchair in a medical bed, right? And he's like,
yeah,
there were many people in the house. That did not happen. She was not there with him alone at all. But it's just insane because this lady, no, this one, she keeps doing this shit, right? She keeps doing this nonsense, and I think she is a honeypot, 100%. And she got old Lido boy here for a while, but he got up out from underneath that.
Well, he's got a cult to run. He's busy.
He is busy, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of little stuff here, of little interactions between them. And if you go through and you read all of this, it's 100% her. And really, the only thing we're getting from him is, huh? And him making a joke about calling immigration, right?
Look how much he aged since that from that accident, though. Look at that. My boy looks
I
rough.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
Looks rough.
he's
somebody
in bad shape. He's probably wearing a brace underneath all that, dude.
Yeah,
I
I
think
bet
that's
he
I
such a
is.
think
shame.
somebody should update some of these ladies
It's a good-looking cat.
that these this strategy I think has run its course. I don't think you can just throw out these BS accusations and holler abuse and show some screenshots that, for all you know, could be edited,
Well, there are
and
none. That's just it. She
we
says
just
there is, but she
accept.
won't produce them.
I know, but I'm saying she just throws some shit out, and we accept that as the gospel.
Oh, well, listen to women, right?
It's
Listen and believe, right? Right?
I don't. I'm a hard headed nigga.
No, I know. I agree, and that's the last thing you should do is listen and believe. But it's just funny how this guy, this is the second time it happened to him. And keep in mind the first one, and Busha makes a good point. When his wife was divorcing him, a lot of people called bullshit on that, the accusation she was made. But we know how what divorce does and what women say in divorce. But he
Yep.
actually was suicidal during that. And a guy
Yep.
who's being violent and aggressive and all that kind of nonsense she was putting out, they don't threaten to kill themselves. Those kind of people, they get
No,
even.
they just do it.
Yeah, or they just get even. But anyway, Jeremy, stay away from psycho bitches, man. What are you doing? And in this situation, I don't even know if he did anything, though. I don't know if he did anything to, other than the Hollywood speak, to promote any action from her, right? Because this situation really looks like he doesn't understand where this is coming from. It's like out of left field, it seems to be for him, right?
Yep.
So maybe she's just doing her job as a CCP honeypot, or he said something, because he's working with her. She's like a producer or some, or a movie maker or something, and he was nice or friendly, or he said something, to kind of get the job, or to smooth something over, and she took it the wrong way. I don't know, because his responses are not what you usually see from the he said she said, right? That's usually accusations go back and forth. He hasn't made any. He's just like, huh? And he made the immigration joke. But
Hmm.
because his responses have been hardly anything at all, because he seems to not understand what the hell it is. But she's made serious accusations against this dude, but it looks like he has witnesses, which is always good. But I mean, it's just for me, how dumb can you be? We all know during that period, the guy's laid up in a bed. He's lucky to
Right.
be even able to walk.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's ridiculous. It's a shame that his act of charity has cost him so much, and now he's having to deal with one of the great curses of Scripture, a terrible, contemptuous woman.
yes.
Uh, and that
Eh,
is a real problem for Mr. Renner. And apparently, throughout his life, he has bad taste when it comes to the females, and that's a
maybe,
shame. He needs to get
but
that sorted.
yeah, that definitely could be true. But in this situation, I'm not sure if that's the case. However, now keep in mind, Disney's also pissed at him because they wanted him to come and do kind of a cameo, because I don't know how functional he is right now. I mean, now
Hmm.
with movie magic, you can put him in a movie, no problem, right? But
Right.
I'm not sure how mobile he is, because his injury was very, very serious, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And but Disney's really pissed at him because they wanted him to come back and cement that girl, Kate Bishop, as Hawkeye in as a cameo or something like that. In the because they want to come out with a season 2 with just her and not him, and they want him to come back and cement it. And he's like, "No, I'm good." So they're all pissed off at him because they want him to hand the baton, pass off the baton, and he's like, whatever. So
Nobody wants Kate Bishop.
nobody wants any of
Jeremy, stay on
these
the side.
these weird replacements. No one wants any of it, um, and that shows in the money they've lost. But I'm kind of wondering if because she is in the pocket of Disney 100%. I'm wondering if there's a little bit of that going on. They're kind of using her to pressure him or something like that.
Could be. Could be.
Because
I
we
mean,
know they're
Disney is evil.
nasty. Well, they're
Yeah,
they're
they're evil.
evil. They're pure evil. Yeah.
Yeah. Wicked.
But and you're good to get away from it, Jeremy. Just relax, dude. You got money, I hope. Just
He should.
relax in
Yeah, he
your
should
little
be all right.
cabin and shovel snow if you can. All right. All right.
Just chill out. Find you a good woman that loves you.
If you can.
That's the thing that these guys do, Chester. They go after the woman they love or the woman they lust after when
Yeah.
they should just find the one that loves them and then
Yeah.
fall in love with her.
That's
That's the
hard
move.
though.
It is, but that's the move.
Yeah. Because it seems that women these days, and I know I'm being very, I know it's not all women. I get it. Okay.
Yep.
But women these days has really become very transactional, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
seem to be, in the most part, to just be prostitutes,
Whores.
basically.
Just
Uh,
straight up whores.
yeah. What can you
Yours.
pay me? What money do you bring? That's all a man's worth.
At this point, for a guy like him who's been burned this many times by the females, sometimes even like in this case appears that he did literally nothing wrong.
It's yeah. This
Uh,
is a weird one.
he might be better off going to one of these really poor Eastern or maybe even Latin American countries and finding him a woman like that and just
Yeah.
bring her back or whatever, set her up wherever,
Go to
and she'll
Hungary.
just take care of you. Yeah, Hungry's a good one.
They're a
These
little bit
women, there
hairy
are
around the
still
lip,
women
but
out there.
we do have cream for
Listen,
that.
you got wax and
That's true.
electrolysis and stuff. You can get rid of that. That's fine. Uh, there's many places you can go and find you a decent wife, a woman who wants to be a wife. That's the problem, Chester. There's this a quote from about 20 years ago. There was this Muslim man living in London, and this was before it became London Stan totally. And somebody asked him why he hasn't got a wife yet, and he said there's a lot of girls in London, a lot of girls, not a lot of wives, not a lot of wives, because these women don't want to be wives. Many of them want to be married. They want to have the dress and the wedding and the whole thing, but they don't want to be someone's wife.
No,
They want to be their partner.
no.
I want to be his part. We're partners. No, we're not
Well,
partners.
if you
This isn't a
pay
partnership. We're spouses. It's
attention to
deeper
this,
than that.
yeah, it is. And if you pay attention to the psychology of what you see just in random TV shows, movies, interviews, talk shows, things like that, what is a common joke? Now, and this is not a direct thing. It's indirect, but it
Mm.
shows you the psychology of what's going on. How often do you see these women making jokes about their not wanting their man around in certain
Yeah.
situations,
Yeah.
right? Now that's not how it used to be,
No.
right? My wife
No.
doesn't want to go anywhere without me going as well,
Mine too. Mine
right?
too.
She wants
Yep.
to be a joint, and she also want to bring the kids for everything.
Right.
I mean, now of course
Mm-hmm.
they're out of the house, but I mean that's a wife.
She'd go
But
get them. Don't act like she wouldn't.
no, she would. You're right. But she dragged them along many times. But I'm just saying that it's a little thing. But just notice how much they joke about not wanting the man around, or how
Yeah,
much
they
of
don't
a
like them.
burden is their man being around.
They don't
Like I
like them
said,
at
it's
all.
indirect, but I mean it's real.
This is why it is true. Always go, and it's not just in marriage or relationships, in life. Go with the ones, the things, the people, the whatever that love you. Don't
Yeah.
chase the things that you love, because the things that you love, that's how you get betrayed. Because as soon as you allow yourself to chase something that doesn't want you back, you're just setting yourself up to get burned. You're gonna get burned. So stop. Recognize it. Recognize when you're in that infatuation stage, and make sure you can get there. That's fine, but the woman has to get there long before you, and that's what happened with my wife. She was completely in love with me from basically day one, and I was still getting over a relationship and everything else. It took me a while before I was there with her. It just did, and she
Yeah.
knows it, and it's just the way it is. And
They
now I can't even imagine my life without her.
they
Can't even
cat
imagine it.
they cast their web. They do.
Yes, and
They
it's
do.
good. It's good for
Yeah.
you, man. It's good for you
Yeah.
when a woman actually loves you. It's
Yeah.
very good for you.
That was the same thing with me and my wife. I was definitely not paying a lot of attention to her. I was chasing other things, um,
Hmm.
literally. But she reeled
Me
me in
too.
though.
When my wife and I started hanging out, uh, I had just gotten out of a 3-year relationship, and it was a very traditional thought I was going to marry this girl situation.
Yeah.
Paid all the bills, worked 60, 70 hours a week, helped raise her kid. Her kid was a little tiny baby, so it wasn't like it was a kid, but you know what I mean. Uh, did all that, and I learned my lesson. I definitely won't fuck with no single mother ever again.
No, you
But
never should.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but I didn't know that at the time. But after that, I had my wife and then a couple other ladies who I just happened to make the acquaintance of. Will be delicate in that time frame, and it just she was the one who just never gave me a reason to get away from her. If that makes sense, like
Right.
she stayed around, and when she was around, it was usually a pretty good thing. So I genuinely think that's the best way for it to be. The woman needs to
Sure.
be completely in love with the man first, and then the man can grow into it. I think that's the way it works the best. Because if you're the one who falls in love first as a man, we've all done it. You're going to become a retard. You're
Oh
going to do
yeah.
stupid shit,
It's
and it's
true.
going to ruin everything.
It's true.
Everything.
Yeah. Well, for me, the last thing on my mind was marriage.
I
I'll
imagine.
be indelicate about it. No, dude, I was
And then,
chasing girls like crazy because I was had money in my pocket. I was a musician working at the top
yeah,
nightclub in Asia, and I was a giant white guy in Asia. Oh my god.
yeah,
Oh my
they were
god.
throwing the panties at
They
you. Is what you're
were.
saying.
My God. I actually even took a challenge from another musician. I was walking down the road, like a main strip in Taipei, and
Yeah.
we're walking along talking about how easy it is to pick up these chicks. I
Hmm.
know, but it is what it is. Yeah, I was young. And I walked by, and there was this little haughty hostess in a restaurant. You could see just inside, she's standing behind the podium, right? And I was
Right.
like, hold on a second. I went in, smiled at her, talked to her for 2 seconds, got her number, set up a date.
Excellent work.
Yes, yes,
It's that easy sometimes, boys.
it is.
Yeah.
It is that easy. But my
Hmm.
point is, I had no interest in marriage whatsoever. I was playing with lots of girls, and I had this
Hmm.
one girl at the corner of me that kept laughing and being near me and stuff like that that I wasn't really
Yep.
paying attention to,
Just
and
present.
she just snuck up on me like frickin' ninja.
And then one day you were like, huh, I
Huh?
don't want her to leave.
What? Yeah, that happened.
Yeah. And
Damn
then
it.
that was it.
Yep, and
That's
that
all
was
it
it.
took.
Yep.
My wife asked me to marry her, Chester. That's how in love with me she was. She proposed to me. She beat me to the punch.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. And Grimlock, have you ever been married?
No.
He got
Not even
pretty
close?
close for a minute.
There's been some times where I thought about it, and God tossed the old dog a bone and said, "Nah, this ain't the move for you."
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Is that in your
It
future?
happens.
Maybe. I don't know.
I see. Are there any little Grimlocks running around?
Hell no.
Hell no. Fair enough.
Nope, nope. I've been lucky. I've never even had a genuine scare. I've had a couple girls who tried the old "I think I might be pregnant" trick
Oh yeah.
when they
Well,
didn't
that's
they weren't getting
standard
enough
flight.
attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never had well with my wife. I've had a couple where she tested herself, but
Yeah.
nothing severe. She
Well,
was just being neurotic.
I'm pretty sure that I only have two.
You're pretty sure. If there's some 6'3" giant Asian Aryan walking around somewhere in Thailand or somewhere out there, we might be like, that
Yeah.
might be Chester's.
You never know.
Some big blonde-headed half a Asian shows up. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Southeast Asians, those girls, it's kind of weird, but good at the same time. I don't know. It's weird because they're so little and they're so
Yes.
skinny, that it kind of it's cute and men like cuteness, but they also kind of nubile, if you know what I mean, and
Yep.
it kind of puts you off a little bit, you know,
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
that way. But I'm telling you what, though, as far as having something bouncing up down on your dick, dude,
Excellent. Well, they're little, Chester. It's real easy. Real easy momentum to get
and
going. You don't got
and
all that
they're
extra girth.
energetic and eager.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
I've heard. I've
yeah,
heard that the East Asian ladies really like sex.
they do.
Once you get past their barriers, their walls, they're all
Uh
in.
huh. Oh yeah, all in 100%. And they do bounce.
Excellent.
Just so you
That's what
know.
you want.
Yeah,
That's what you want.
and of
The
course
problem I've had with a lot of Western women, in my experience, now my wife excluded, she's fantastic, but most of them are really bad at sex. They're lazy. They're lazy as shit. That's why all of them fantasize about being told what to do because they're just too fucking lazy to learn. They're just not good at it. And that's a shame because it's fun. It's real fun when the woman's good at it, especially when you got
or
matched
at least
energies.
she's willing to learn and put in the
Yeah,
effort.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
No, a
But
lot of them
yeah,
are
we
lazy.
won't go
That's
deeper
why
in
you
that
see a lot of these
conversation.
women. That's why you see a lot of these women resent their men so much, is because
Sorry,
they hate
lady.
having they hate having sexual intercourse with that man. Whether they're physically disgusted by him because maybe he's fat or whatever, or they're just emotionally disgusted by him because, as women sometimes do, uh, for various reasons. The idea of engaging in that activity with this man revolts them, and from that one thing, all these other problems grow. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I think Chester would agree with me. When you're having trouble in your marriage, have more sex.
Oh yeah, that is
Just
true.
just do it
That is
and see
true.
if those problems don't go
That's
away.
true.
Just
Well,
try it.
unless you're Jeremy Renner.
Well, yes, but his
Okay.
problems were complete and utter psychopath bitches. So,
Yeah, especially this lady. But anyway, moving along here, so the lady doesn't have to leave.
Gremlins 3 announced for 2027 with
Booster, what
Spielberg
the hell?
and Columbus returning.
Now,
Spielberg's still going to make movies, huh? He's still going to try
well,
it. He's got to be
no,
getting up there.
he's producing Columbus's. Of course, the writer. He is going to be directing this. Now, I don't know. What do we think about this? It's been a very, very long time since we've had any Gremlin action at all. The
It's
first
been
one,
30 years.
yes, it has. The first one was an absolute smash hit, lightning in a jar. The second one received, mixed opinion. I
Hmm.
like the second one. It's a different type of film. It's more of a parody of the first film, really. But I thought it was fun because this is tongue in cheek. Spielberg is the one that changed it. Keep in mind, that original movie was meant to be a full on horror movie. And Spielberg is like, yeah, no, 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 let's lighten that up a little bit. Now,
Yep.
if you watch the original movie, it still has uh, moments of the horror still in the script there.
Right.
But Spielberg, changed the whole tone of that series, and success, right? Incredible success. Is Joe Dante involved? I don't know. Maybe he should be. But I'm just curious. Do we need Gremlins 3?
No,
Do we want
that's
Gremlins 3?
maybe, but we don't need it. It could be good,
It could
but
be.
it could also be a travesty of human justice.
Well, if they make an actual Gremlins movie,
Hmm.
it could be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
But it had now. Keep in mind, I didn't know this, but it looks like somebody, I guess HBO, had a this Max HBO animated prequel, Secrets of the Mogwai, which did well. And it's actually its second season is done. So I didn't know this was a thing. I've never heard of it. You guys?
Nope.
I had never heard of this, but it sounds like this is what gave them the confidence that there is some legs in Gremlins. So,
Interesting.
I don't know
I wouldn't make
this.
it a Gremlins 3 though. I would just make it Gremlins. Just do a full Just start over. Because
Start
I don't
over.
do we how it's been a long time since we had a Gremlins movie. Usually when you do that real late sequel, yes, you have Top Gun Maverick that exists out there, but that was because the sequel is infinitely better than the original. Uh, I just don't think it's going to work with Gremlins. I'm sorry, you don't have first of all you don't have Tom Cruise in it, and then you don't have Val Kilmer giving his last and one of his best performances, which is crazy. With his one scene, he does so much work. Um, you don't have that, and you're not going to have that with something like this. So I think if you're going to bring this back, you'd be better off to do some sort of reboot than a sequel. Personally, I know everybody's tired of reboots. I get it, but I don't think any nostalgia or I don't think there's any purchase in making it a sequel. I don't think the equity's there
Right.
because it's just been
I
so
mean,
long.
I would just do something completely new. You're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a reboot. It just do something completely new. Don't
Yep.
do any cameos, which we know they will. But do something completely new. But I'm just saying, if they make a
Right.
really good, fun family movie, it might do well, dude.
Yeah, it could do well. It's been a while since we had something that's just silly and fun. That's that style. Um, the Naked Gun coming out this year is silly fun, but it's not a family movie at
Right,
all.
right,
This
right.
could be.
Gremlins to America too. Very good, Alan. Very, very good.
We already
Uh,
have that. They're
yeah.
called Muslims.
Yeah,
We already have
fair,
that.
fair,
Yeah.
fair. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to Gizmo somehow is still going to be around, and they're
Uh,
going to do all that. Where really they should just do a clean slate thing, not necessarily a reboot and tell the same story. Just clean slate it, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Go some other place in America, do it on a different holiday, maybe Easter. How about that?
Could do.
I just thought it was interesting because this came out of the blue. I mean, huh?
They're throwing darts at the board. They're
They
throwing
are.
darts at the board.
They are. And like I said, I'd never heard of this Mogwai thing. It looks fine, little kid thing, and it's set in China, which that's where they're from. So
Yeah.
fair enough.
It could be good. Could
Could
be
be good.
great even.
Could be. But anyway,
Jester, did you see?
yeah,
I didn't see it in the little list there. Did you see that it is confirmed, at least as far as I understand, that they are planning on making another Mummy movie with our boy Brendan and the chick from the first two as his wife? Uh, it's apparently in pre-production right meow. I'm
yeah.
actually
No,
excited for that.
I did hear that. I did see that. But let's be fair with that.
Hmm.
Everybody involved's too old. So what you're going to get is passing of the torch, which is fine. So who do you
Hmm.
pass the torch to? Now, in the third
Well,
movie, we did get a kid. There was a kid running around. I think it was a
a
girl or a
son. Yeah.
boy, a son,
No,
right?
it's a boy.
It was a
Their son.
boy.
He's in the second movie too. He's a little
And
boy in the second movie.
what is his name? Anybody know? That is true,
Oof.
Alan.
Come on. What is his name in that movie? It's not Jonathan. Jonathan's the brother. Um. Oh, come on.
And Jonathan is
I've
dead,
s-
dead.
I've seen that movie a bajillion million times too, and I can't think of the little
Well,
bastard's name.
what have you. That's the only way you can make it because Brendan Fraser is, a pretty solid actor. He was a lot of fun in a lot of things he's done, but he is too old. He is way too old.
Yep.
And the lady in it, I don't know, is she even alive?
Yeah, Rachel Weisz. She's alive. She still
Okay.
makes movies. She's still around. She still does
Okay.
stuff.
So
Um.
you're going to have a passing of the torch. You're also going to have a very solid story.
Yes.
Right? So, and what is our timeline? Those guys were set during the war, right? World War
Alex is his
II.
name. It
Atlas?
was
Yeah, makes sense.
Alex.
Alex.
Alex
Oh.
is the name of the kid. Um, it was pre World War II, I believe. I think it was like 30, like early 30s, if I remember correctly.
Okay,
Uh,
but still, you got to add 30, 40 years to that.
mhm.
So it'd bring us into, say, the 70s.
60, 70, somewhere in there, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Um,
And, fine, but you're really going to have to find whoever you're passing it off to, you need to nail that.
yes.
So,
Yes.
you know,
No, I mean, it could potentially work. It really just depends on what they're going to try and get Brendan to do. Because Brendan, unfortunately, has not had the best health for a very long
no.
time. and his
Yep.
body reflects that. Now, that doesn't
Yep.
mean he can't get himself in great shape. We know he can, but it's going to be some serious work.
Yeah, and
And I just don't think he can do the physical like because he used to be a fantastic physical actor. That was one of his best traits. Like if you
oh
watch the
yeah, he
first two
was
Mummy
great.
movies,
Yeah.
he's so good. He's so clean with what he's doing. Uh, so we'll see. It could be that he takes on more of a Sean Connery style role in like he did in the Last Crusade. That worked fine.
Yeah.
It could work. It just depends on what they try and get our boy Brendan here to do because he
Well,
is older now,
there
and
he
like I
is
said,
right
his health
there.
has not been great
No, he
for
did
a
lose
long
weight
time.
though. He has lost a bunch of
He
weight,
did.
so good for him.
He did. No, he's
But
getting his life. He's trying to get his life back together. You can tell that. He's been making movies again. He won the Oscar, everything, and he's been clearly trying to get himself back together. This guy is one of the most tragic stories in Hollywood. Brendan Fraser, he really is, uh, and he's one of those guys that he was A-level star. Everybody knew Brendan Fraser. Like, come on, and
why
yeah,
is he tragic?
well, because one, he has a lot of, especially now, he's a very insecure man, has a lot of mental health issues. But the reason he does is because apparently at some point when his career was, wavering a little bit, one of the male producers effectively sexually assaulted him. Not even effectively, did sexually assault him. And
Big
did the
dude like
old,
that? He's a big dude.
yeah,
Why?
yeah. Did the old something to the effect of like if you ever tell anybody or whatever, your career's over type thing. Or maybe he might not have actually touched him, but he made the threat. I can't remember. But regardless, that destroyed him. He also had a lot of problems, obviously, with relationships and whatever. And then he had just a lot of health issues. Something happened with his back. I can't remember, but he hurt his back really, really badly, and that's why he got so heavy and why he just kind of fell apart. He lost
Mhm.
almost all of his money over that course of time, and he just had a really bad go of it, and it was simply because Hollywood completely turned their back on him because he wouldn't allow some little Jewish producer to rape him, basically. So he was prototype Me Too, but since it was a man, nobody gave a shit or believed him most likely. So because they probably said what you said, but him? Wait a minute, he's huge. Uh, but fear is a paralytic.
Yeah.
Uh, and he just got horrifically mistreated. He also, obviously got blackballed for years. That's why he disappeared. He was still, he still could have been in stuff, but he just wasn't. And thankfully, in the last, I don't know, 6 years or so, he's started to reopen those doors. He finally told people what happened to him, why, that happened to him. Um, and I think he's starting to, like I said, he's starting to really get himself back together, which is good because I remember when he won that Oscar, like, well, most people don't give a shit about the Oscars, right? But we
Right.
give a shit about Brendan Fraser. And we think it's great that he actually got some recognition for being one of Hollywood's top stars of all time, actually, that just got completely discarded because of bullshit that was, well, bullshit. Let's just call it what it is.
Right.
Um, and it's good to see, a renaissance of a career like of this man
Right.
because he's a total sweetheart. He's a
Yeah. So
completely you've never heard a negative thing come out about Brendan Fraser. I've never heard it in his 30-year career. Have you ever heard
yeah.
anything?
No, he's a nice guy. But it's the Kevin Sorbo had a similar situation, but
Yep.
Kevin tells the story as a funny anecdote.
Right.
It didn't bother him psychologically at all. It was from Versace, I think, was
Yep.
the one trying to get at Kevin Sorbo, which I guess makes sense. But Kevin just said,
Well, Kevin
no,
also has the Lord. He's a very spiritual man
that's true.
that helps with these sorts of things. If you don't, it can when that stuff happens to you, it can really fuck you up. And it did him. It fucked up Brendan real bad. It's hard to process, sexual harassment, like hardcore stuff. Not a lot of the stuff that comes out like this Jeremy Renner stuff, but real shit. That shit fucks you up. And that's why it's so disgusting when you have women weaponizing it and making it into something, making
Right.
things that aren't that
Yeah.
into it.
Well, you can go two ways with it. You can go the Drago way, and I will break you. You can do that.
Yes.
Or you can just laugh it off and say, "Yeah, dude, not gay. Thanks. No thanks."
Right.
And it sounds like you have a third way here is allow it to actually bother you.
Yeah. Well, if you're a vulnerable guy, if you're a, like I said, Brendan's always been known as a sweet man. He's a really sweet guy. Actually, actually a sensitive guy, hence being an actor. Uh, it just broke him. It fucked him up.
That's too bad.
And but like I said, the good news is the story so far has had a happy ending because he's got his career back now. Everything's moving the right direction. So I want this movie to be good. I love the first two Mummy movies. The third one's okay, but the first two are phenomenal.
Oh, they're
I
really
can
good.
watch them
Yeah.
at any time. So I would love for more of that. I said earlier when you were gone, 300 is a masterpiece of an action movie, whereas that's all it's trying to be. It's not trying to be anything else, and that's why it's a masterpiece. And I think the Mummy movies, the first two, are masterpieces because they're just doing what they're trying to do. They're not
Adventure.
trying to pretend they're not trying to pretend there's some great cinema or be hyper dramatic or no, they know what they are and they're just being it, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, they are. They are really good, and we've always loved him. I actually enjoyed him as the robot on whatever that
Yep,
show was called, even though that was getting extremely woke.
he was a
Uh,
good George of the Jungle too, even though
hmm
he made many men insecure because he got in crazy shape for that movie.
He did. He did. Yeah, good for him. But whatever. That's a shame. But I don't know why you should let that bother you so much. I mean, I've certainly been hit on by the gays before in my life, and it was no big deal for me at all.
Well, I think this was different. I'm sure he had been too. I think this was far more aggressive, right? A far more aggressive situation. And he would, like I said, he was already in a dark place, so it was just a compounding interest situation,
I
and
see.
it
Did
just
he have
busted him
drug
up.
problems or something?
I
Alcohol?
believe so. Yeah, I think he got it. I think if I remember correctly, when he hurt his back, he got hooked on some shit because of it.
Ah,
Um, and he had been trying to get over that for years. In fact, so it's good. It's like I said, this so far has a happy ending because he's pulled out of it. His career's starting to come back together. He's been in a lot of stuff the last little while. Um, so this would be a real good kickstart for him to get back to where he
yeah.
belongs. He's one of the
And
most successful actors of all time.
what was that lady's name?
Which one?
The lady. It's in the movies.
Rachel
Rachel.
Weisz. Weisz.
Rachel.
Weiss.
Oh, she goes with the German, huh? All right.
Yep, she has a German name. Oh, I guess it's SZ. Whatever. Whatever.
Oh, very
Fucking
German.
Germans.
Mega German.
Yeah.
All right. Don't I remember from the movies.
Yeah, that's her
Let's
right there.
see here what she looks like in 2025.
George of the
Oh,
Jungle is a hood classic, Booster. You are correct, sir. I love that movie. It's
why
so
is
much
that a
fun.
hood classic?
Because it's just great. It's just fun.
Yeah, but what does that
Silly.
mean?
Nothing. Like a cult classic, basically. It's the
Dude,
same thing.
she still looks good. Hold on a
Yeah, she's
second.
aged quite well. Aged quite well. That's from 2023, so that's not that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she looks fine. He doesn't.
He'll get it together. He's Brendan Fraser. You watch him. You watch him resculpt himself back to the sex god that he used to be. Chester, as is known, once you have it, it's really hard to lose it forever. You just have to get it back.
That's true, and that's it's like bicycles, but
Yep.
that's why it's so important to have your children active.
Hmm.
The one of the greatest sins you could possibly have is a fat child.
Yes.
Don't do that. Yeah,
It's
let
not good for anybody.
force them whilst you have control over their bodies, make them fit because it'll stay
Mm.
with them their whole life. I mean, I certainly got a bit of a punch, because I'm an older dude and I do like eating, but I still have that underlace, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
still there, right? And that's important. And you can see it even though he's put on some weight. You can see the under muscle. You can see it. It's still there,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So that
And I
is a
think this is an older picture too. I'm pretty sure he's even lost weight since then. Last I seen
I
him.
think so too. I saw one of him that looked like he was thinner than that. That is true.
Yeah.
But whatever, it is interesting news. It is interesting news.
I'm happy
And,
for Brendan. Happy for everybody's friend Brendan Fraser.
right
Everybody's happy for him.
now, we're going to take a look at our box office mojo. But keep in mind, We don't have numbers for Netflix and Frankenstein that
Hmm.
I know of. There might be somewhere, and we'll certainly be getting them. However, I guarantee you this weekend, the number one watch movie was Frankenstein. I guarantee it, right?
Probably, yeah.
Because not only is it on Netflix, which is the world's premier streaming service, whether it should be or not is a different conversation, but also you do have the Finnish databases and then all the other, gee, I don't even know how many there are, but all the other channels that basically take that and use it illegally, right?
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
So I'm guaranteeing you, Frankenstein was the biggest movie watched this weekend, and everyone is abuzz with it. Everybody. If you go look at all the critics and stuff, everybody and their brother has done a review on it, and they're just praising it for good reason. So
Right.
that's actually number one. Unfortunately, Netflix did a weird thing. Here's a project that they probably would have made a lot of money if they actually dropped it in the cinema, but they
Hmm.
chose not to. So whatever. But keep that in mind. Predator, Badlands. Like I said, it's a good five, six. It seems action comedy. People are enjoying it. It's made 40 million. It needs to make about $400 million for it to break even. Okay,
Yep.
it ain't going to get there.
No.
It ain't going to get there.
At least not in the first market. Maybe in the aftermarket.
Maybe, but it's just one of those kind of movies that if you like Predator, you're not going to like it. If you just look at it as Badlands the movie, you might. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Busha says, can confirm because I was a fat kid, but Lord knows my parents tried to make me be active, but I was a little shit who just wanted to play video games. Yeah, no, my parents kept me in sport whether I liked it or not. That's true. But I did like football though. I mean, I wasn't particularly good at it. I mean, I was good on the rush, I guess. But I did like football, you know.
Yep.
But and that's the important thing. Most of us are not great athletes, and you're not going to be. But that's not the point. That has
Hmm.
nothing to do with it whatsoever. It's about building the body that you will have for the rest of your life. That's what it
Right.
is. And so many of these parents letting their kids be fat and even promoting it, they should be slapped triple time because
Yep.
that is a amazing level sin that you're putting on your children, because kids are stupid. I mean, shit, humans are stupid. I mean,
Yes.
but kids are double, triple stupid, right? You are there to guide them, and you really having kids, and that's why we had mandatory PE and physical educations and health czars like Arnold Schwarzenegger and such. We really need to get back to that because here in Japan, you don't see a lot of fat people, right? And when
Right.
they're during their elementary, their whole school, the 12 years of school, the Japanese are constantly doing PE, they're doing sport, they're doing all that kind of stuff. Every kid, boy or girl, athletic or not, is fit coming out of high school, right? And it
Hmm.
stays with you your whole life.
Does help.
It does. Even if you get chubby and fat or too skinny, it's that underlacing is there, right?
Right.
And it's important. But nevertheless, um, I guess I should be happy that this isn't woke, but it ain't going to make its money.
No, no, it ain't
Uh,
making his money back.
Now, Black Phone
That ain't
2,
happening.
it's not. 60 million, I don't know the budget on this, but this might be close to actually, if not already, making money. Because it's a cheap little horror movie, as it should be, and it's getting some good buzz. People actually are saying, "Well, it's very different from the first movie. It's almost like a completely different movie on what's going on. It's basically we went from a serial killer with a little bit of supernatural to Freddy Krueger 2.0 is what they
Yeah.
did. But people are like, yeah, but it's fun though. So rock on. Um, Sarah's Oil. I don't want to know anything about Sarah's Oil.
Oh
Okay.
no.
So what do we got here? The
Oh
remarkable
boy, here we go.
The remarkable true story of 11-year-old Sarah Rector, an African American girl born in Oklahoma, Indiana Territory.
Okay.
in the early 1900s who believes there is oil beneath the barren lands she's allotted, and whose faith is proven right. So, all right, this is
What?
one of those political things where they were placing black people and giving them land. It was a little bit of the continuation of the Homesteading Act from Abraham Lincoln. So, all right, so that's a good thing. So, I certainly hope there's no racism in it.
You're fun. You're funny. Why am I watching this movie since you just told me everything in the synopsis?
I
Like,
don't know.
there's no angst, right? There's no angst at all. Yeah, in the end, she's right. Oh, all right. What am I
Okay,
watching this for?
she can she's an oil whisperer.
If you clicked on Back to the Future back in the day, and at the end of it, it's like, don't worry, at the end everything's fine.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
okay.
That's true. Well, most movies that way. Sony did put out Nuremberg. No one's talking about it. Although Russell Crowe is in this playing a Nazi. And
Yeah.
From what I understand from the reviews I've seen, it's actually pretty solid, Oscar bait war movie. Well,
Hmm.
it's a war trial
Just
movie,
more
Nuremberg, of course.
anti-Nazi porn from these freaking
Yes,
Hollywood people.
more of that, more of that. But it didn't. It didn't. It only came out about half the theaters it could have, and it only made 4 million. But once again, this is one of those Oscar bait movies that never makes any money anyway.
Yep.
So it's not meant to. But Herman Goring, of course, is Russell Crowe is playing him.
Yeah.
But it is being praised. So if you like that kind of stuff, there you go.
I'll never understand the
What is
endless
Zachary
obsession.
Levy doing in Sarah's Oil? Is there a Zachary? Where do you see that?
Is that him in the background there?
I don't know.
That whatever it's called, poster, I guess.
I don't know. I can check it if you'd like. I thought this was more humor, but all right.
Let's see.
For Booster.
Let's see. I
Okay.
don't see him.
I don't see him.
Unless that's him back there.
Yeah, it says Zachary Levy right there. I don't
Oh,
know
Zach.
who is Zachary Levy.
Shazam.
Oh, Shazam. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is an oil whisperer. Sweet. One thing I've noticed, and I don't understand what that is, and maybe Grimlock can help me out.
Uh-oh.
This is supposed to be like a 10-year-old, right? 11-year-old.
Mm.
And I've seen them on those cop things. You see a lot of these 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old girls, they look like they're freaking 35. What's that all about?
Somebody's lying about their age.
Well, no, I mean, the cops legitimately quantify them as being 10, but they look 30. It's weird, dude. They're like giants. Because
I
this
don't
don't
know.
look like no 10-year-old. That looks like a young adult.
Yeah,
All right,
I don't
whatever.
know
I don't
because
know.
I've seen 10-year-olds and they don't look like that.
Yeah, me too. But I have seen them also that they just something is weird going on with it. Anyway, Chainsaw Man. Let's see how this craziness is going because this has been the year of anime, hasn't it? They've made some
Oh
good
yeah.
money, and that right
Mm-hmm.
there, it's probably not enough, but it's close. And we know Kimetsu no Yaiba has just been killing it. Begonia, this is another artsy fartsy movie. It looks to me to be a little bit of salary movie, but also the what's her name? This actress. I wish they had more information here about the movie on Box Office
Mm-hmm.
Mojo. But this has that actress lady in it, and it's more of a
You can click on
character.
the over there. You can click on cast information. I think.
Okay. I didn't see that, so that's my fault. Okay, let me go see it. Let me go back and check it then. Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh, you have to have
That's
IMDb
why.
Pro. Well,
That
that's
that's why I
retarded.
stayed away from it. Yeah. But Let me see here. Begonia. Now, This is one of those weird little artsy movie character stories. Emma Stone. Yeah. And some
Oh
people are
God.
like, "Oh, it's a brilliant Emma Stone. It's a brilliant," and other people's like, "God, this is dumb." So
Everything she's in is dumb. I've never understood why she has a career. She's
yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
And
But
she's not
basically,
anywhere near attractive enough to keep having this career.
well, in this movie, there's a couple of idiots that think she's an alien, and they kidnap her. And by the end of the movie, she probably actually is an alien. I think it's one of those kind of movies. But
Yeah,
whatever. That ain't made no money. But honestly, how much did it cost to make it? Probably not a lot.
yeah,
Uh,
probably
so
not.
but that was a thing. Die, my love. Oh goodness. Grace, a writer and young mother, is slowly slipping into madness. Locked away in an old house in and around Montana, we see her acting increasingly agitated and erratic, leaving her companion Jackson increasingly worried and helpless. Okay, so crazy bitch.
Increasingly twice. Excellent. Good writing.
Yep, yep,
Oof. Not
uh,
only is it an adjective, which you should avoid, but they did it twice with the same
yep,
one.
yep. Now,
Amazing.
let me just for my own happiness. Fuck off. All right, good. I feel better now. This movie, holy shit, dude! How many weeks we into
It's
this now?
lost so much money.
Hundreds
It
of
came out
millions
on
of
the
dollars,
10th
dude.
of October, so almost a month.
Wow. And
Almost a month.
unfortunately, because the last one that came out wasn't a mega box office hit, it wasn't, but it was a critically acclaimed hit, and the fans liked it too, right? The last one.
Yeah.
It's become a bit of a classic. But this movie is not making any money, so it's bombing. But it's also everyone hates it. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but everyone hates it. So Christy, is this the child of Christine? No, we couldn't be so lucky, could we? Two estranged brothers with checkered childhoods in the care system suddenly find themselves living under the same roof. They must now reconcile with their past and make decisions about their future. Aw. It is interesting. You get so many people talk about their childhood trauma or their trauma in life. And it's like, well, you do realize everybody has that, right?
Yeah.
No one lives a gilded life, not even the gilded.
Can you imagine what it was like before everything? All this modern technology? My lord.
Boy, well, it might have been simpler and then less to think about.
Maybe, but it was still probably awful.
Yeah. Oh, look at this monster, dude. Whoa, that is crazy money. That is crazy money for them, dude.
Yeah, that's
Um,
nuts.
it is, and of course, it's being released through Sony, but this is not a Sony movie, right? Meaning it
Yeah.
didn't have Sony money behind it. Let's see here. Gabby's doll. Okay, here we go. Uh, Peter Huyar's Day. A conversation between photographer Peter Huyer and Linda Rosenkrantz from 1947 sheds light on New York's vibrant down. Fuck off, dude. God, I have a disease now. All right. A sharp look at the American South unreconciled history through a Mississippi town that mixes antebellum tourism with a community deeply divided over its past. It's the racism.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like the same thing with the Nazis. Pick another frickin' villain already. I'm just
Yeah,
bored of it.
it is
Just
boring.
bored of it.
It is boring. And once again, you don't like the antebellum South? Great. Go talk to your local Democrat. Hmm?
Yeah.
So, because that's what they're doing, especially in Mississippi, though. Damn. That was pretty brutal place, dude, Mississippi. Um,
Oh yeah.
Ew, pretty bad. Anyway, that's it. Ain't nothing. Nothing. Nothing here has made any money other than this. Now, keep in mind, how many weeks have we been talking about Kimetsu no Yaiba, dude? A month and a half,
Well,
6 weeks? How long?
it came out on September 12th,
Holy
so almost two
shit.
months.
this thing is still making money. It's because keep in mind this list we look at is not all things. It's the top 32, I guess.
Right.
But it's still right there. That
Still
is crazy, dude.
banging,
It is just
banging and
hanging,
clanging.
hanging legs, kind of like that. I think that the original Avatar movie and the original Titanic
Yeah.
went longer, but those things
Hmm.
had mega legs. Yeah,
Yes.
crazy legs, dude.
Outrageous legs.
Yeah,
Uh, God, I remember Titanic. I was so annoyed that
yeah,
that movie was doing so well. Because I watched it,
yeah. I did
watched it in
too.
theater, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. And the only part that I loved, well, it happened twice, was when the guy fell and hit his head on the propeller.
Yeah,
Everybody's in there crying and freaking out, and I'm laughing my ass off because that son of a bitch James put the sound effect in, and I said, "No, he did it. He didn't have to do it. He could have just let the guy hit the thing and not made the noise, but it goes dong."
good job, James. Good job, James. One of the more insufferable Hollywood people, but yet he does make some bangers, dude.
He does. He makes
Yeah,
money. I don't
yeah,
know why,
he
but
does
he
though.
makes money.
But yeah, Titanic was yeah, whatever. It's a chick flick. But I have no angst against it.
Why are so many
Avatar's
chick flicks just about cheating? Have you ever noticed? That's like their fantasy is to
it
cheat on
is,
everybody.
it is, yeah, that or being abused or raped or something. I don't know, get it. But now Avatar, on the other hand, it's not a great movie at all, but it's visually stunning, though. It
Yeah.
is. That movie holds up as far as the beauty of it. The storytelling, it's one of his weaker outings because Titanic, even though it's really made for women, it's still a pretty well told story, though, right? But
Yeah.
Avatar is not. But it's just so visually beautiful. Now, I didn't see the second one. Did you?
No.
The
No
water
interest.
one? Yeah, but people seem to like it, and it is about family, which is nice.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah. The problem is we've seen it. There's nothing. I mean, aside from the aesthetics, there's very little of it that isn't just rehashed
Yeah.
of similar stories,
Well,
and not in like a like a normal rehash way. It's pretty much just copied.
I think
And
what
it's
happened,
frustrating.
with the Avatar thing and James Cameron, um, he read Zachariah Sitchin's 12th Planet and
Yeah.
Eric von Daniken and all those people who are writing about all the Sumerian translations and all that kind of stuff. And he thought to himself how clever it would be for him to reverse the story, and therefore how unique it would be. And he's put what 2 decades of his life into this shit. Now, to be fair, he has also moved filmmaking forward during that time. You got to give him credit. He's the current Lucas, because George Lucas, even though he can be kind of insufferable, he moved the technology forward. He most certainly did, right? And Cameron is doing that now. So, okay, great. I thank you for that. But the sad thing about it is that I think James doesn't pay attention to anything anyone else does. I think he's completely self-absorbed. Which would anybody argue that? Anyone want to argue that? Anybody?
No. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hyper narcissist.
Hyper narcissist. And what he missed was people have been retelling those old Mesopotamian stories for decades, decades. You haven't, and therefore you're not making anything unique. People have been referencing that stuff since it became a big deal. And even we go back to Jules Verne with all the Atlantean stuff and all of the old ancient Egypt and all that stuff that was coming out at that time. We've kind of been on a kick of well over a century now of really wanting to tell those ancient animistic stories, right?
Hmm.
And when Zachariah Sitchin, I think more importantly than any of the other writers, um, he really sparked an interest in people. And I would put money on the fact that James Cameron read that book and he thought he had an idea. And he didn't pay attention that, yeah, well, you're late to the party, buddy. Right? That's my
Right.
feeling on it. Grimlock? You got anything to say about anything?
Uh, no, I never got into the Avatar movies. I couldn't sit and watch. I couldn't even get through the entire first one. Like I, like halfway through that, I was pretty much done with it.
Yeah. I've
Um,
watched it twice, I think, because of reasons, but it is beautiful though.
it's a good looking movie, but I mean, I kind of put a lot of James Cameron's modern movies in the same place. I put J.J. Abrams movies. They're great looking movies you'll watch once and you'll never speak of them again.
Yeah, it is kind of like that, and also Ripley, not Ripley. What's the guy who did Aliens there?
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott. Thank you, Ridley Scott. Yeah. It's very similar with him. He just lost his touch, dude. He lost his touch. And maybe Cameron has well, but he's been so obsessed. How long has he been banging? Because has he done anything other than Avatar for the past 20 years?
No, and he's not going to be either.
Yeah, because he's like wants to do 5 or 6 of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's
Yeah, he
just
wants to make it a whole
obsessed.
deal,
Yeah, he's
and he
obsessed
he
about it. Yeah.
he genuinely thinks he's got the new Star Wars in his hands. And I get he makes a lot of money. I don't know why, but I get that he makes a lot of money. But the cultural impact isn't even close. Like, what are we talking about, James? Nobody talks about
No,
your
it's
movies.
not. I think the reason it makes money is similar to Transformers. It's an easy thing to digest for an international audience. I think
Yeah,
that's the main reason.
But
Uh,
I've heard people talk about Transformers even if it's shit. I've never heard
mm-mm.
anybody, bad or
and they still
good,
talk about
talk
it.
about Avatar.
No, it is one of those
And
watch
it's
it and
like
forget it.
I just look at the box office and I'm like, who's watching this?
The international community. Yeah, yeah.
I guess.
No, definitely. Like I remember um, here in Japan, because we are all suffering because movie watching, cinema used to be a hobby, right? It used to be a hobby
Mhm.
where people would go like once a month, or some if you go back far enough, even weekly, to watch a movie. But that has been taken from us. It has been taken from us because of wokies and stupidity and just overprice and over marketing and overthinking and all the nonsense we've talked about on this show for years. But the Japanese are no different to anyone else. They are cinemaphiles just like everybody else is, and they really want good movies too. And occasionally something gets in the consciousness of Japan, and they make a big deal about it. I've only seen it twice in the past so many years, though. Once was Top Gun Maverick, and the other one was the last Mission Impossible movie. Interestingly, both Tom Cruise. And there was a lot of hype,
Mm.
a lot of people around me even who were talking about it and went to go see the movies. And when you get certain type of movies, it just gets in their psyche like, oh, we could go watch that. And I think Transformer for the kids and Avatar, I think, is filling that same spot. Because keep in mind, when a foreigner watches a foreign film, right?
Hmm.
They don't see it in the same way you do, right? I've sat in the theater many times in different countries amongst non-English speakers, and of course they're reading subtitles, right? And I'm sitting there even with me and my kids, right, or just me, and I'm laughing or enjoying it in a very different way than they are. There'll be a scene that some little quip like Transformers is perfect, the original Transformers. There was some dumb, stupid little fart joke type of thing, piss joke, and my whole family laughed at it, and the rest of the theater was dead silent. So when a foreigner watches, when a non-English speaker or a non-German speaker or whatever, when you're watching a movie that's not of your language, you don't see it in the same way. It's coming at you in a very different way. Avatar is a visual feast, and therefore they don't need to understand some of the deeper politics or comedic points or those things that will go over their head. They don't need it. They could just enjoy the visual stunning. Oh, family, little basic concepts that you get. You don't even need language for translation. I think that's a very
Mhm.
important point to remember.
Could be.
Yeah.
Probably is.
Yeah, because you guys have been stuck in an English environment your whole life, right? Like Grimlock, name your favorite foreign language film.
Hmm.
Mine's easy.
Foreign language.
Hmm.
It'd probably be something Japanese, like
Hmm.
Yakuza Files, something like
Something
that.
like that,
Hmm.
sure. Well, I think a
Glad you
lot of
mentioned that.
Americans would
Yeah.
choose Japanese thing. How about you,
Mhm.
Thunder?
Zatoichi series.
Well, now that he mentioned Japanese, I didn't even think about it till he mentioned it, but probably the original Godzilla. But if we're coming to a more modern time, Hero, which is a Chinese language film. Uh,
Interesting. Yeah.
both are really good. Have you ever seen
For,
Hero, Chester? I think you'd like it.
no, but it does sound like something I might. Maybe I haven't. I just don't know the English title. But my favorite foreign language. Now, for me, it's a little different, right? Because I actually speak languages. But probably my favorite foreign language film is Day Shift and Night Shift, which is
Hmm.
a two-part movie series from Russia
Hmm.
about vampires of all things. But it's just good fun because I love that movie because it really shows Russian culture really well because Western people have this image of Russia as being Ivan Drago, right?
Right.
That's Russia, but that's not them at all. Matter of fact, if you go watch Fiddler on the Roof, it's much closer to being Russian-esque than
Hmm.
Ivan Drago, right? Yes, I said they're
I'm going to be
Jew-like.
honest. I'm not expecting to hear a movie like Day Shift, Night Shift, and think vampires either. So
Well, it's the concept is that there were eternal wars in the past between the good light, the light powered people and the dark powered people, the dark and the shadow, light, as above, so below,
that
and
makes sense.
they made a treaty. And during the day, you have these more good people are running are having to deal with evil is in charge of the day and good is in charge of the night, and of course they struggle against each other. It's like this ancient treaty that was set up
Yeah,
between them. But yeah, the story's good, the plot's good, but it really, a lot of Russian movies do a real good job, of course, of showing their culture. And I love it because it's not what everybody else thinks Russia is. Russia is way more, family oriented, joking around, dancing, singing, friendly. It's just not what we have been taught. And those movies are one, things I like. It's supernatural, and two, they're just great fun. But I agree. There's a lot of good Japanese stuff I like, Chinese stuff, good Germans. Brotherhood of the Wolf from France was a great movie. French occasionally do come out with good movies. Um, yeah, there's plenty of foreign things I like, but nevertheless,
Including foreign women.
yeah, including foreign women. I have tasted many of them.
Hmm.
You know,
Excellent.
excellent.
Excellent. And
Yeah.
bred
there's a
one,
clip.
at least one.
At
At
least
least
one,
one.
There's
a
a clip.
minimum. There's a clip. Yeah, it was metaphor, Grimlock. It was a
Uh,
metaphor.
no, yeah,
But
I honestly, when I think about
Hmm.
it, I didn't even think about it till he said Japanese, but yeah, that OG Godzilla movie is a masterpiece. It's
it
just a
is a
fucking
Yes.
masterpiece.
masterpiece.
Yeah, we watched it on Bunny Vision movie night, right?
Yeah,
And I was
Yeah.
I had only seen the Orson Welles one,
right.
right? Even me, who lives here in Japan,
Hmm.
and that movie is shocking, dude. It takes your breath away, literally.
Yeah, it
Seven
does.
Samurai.
Seven Samurais,
Samurai. Would
pretty
you
good, but
consider
doesn't have the
the
impact.
spaghetti westerns foreign? I mean, I guess
Yeah, yeah,
technically they are.
100%. They're
Uh,
Italian, right?
yeah, those that well the Clint Eastwood ones, of course. That series is also very good,
Yeah, but there's a ton of
especially
them,
Good, the
dude,
Bad, the Ugly.
made in Italy
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Spain during that era.
Who was the
Uh,
guy who did I Am No One?
oh, I can't remember, but that's another spaghetti western. You're right. Yeah, yeah, but
Just
yeah,
thought
you're
about
right.
it. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, there's two or three of those movies, I think, and they are interesting. They're weird because the good guys are actually the bad guys. They're not good guys, and they're filthy,
Right.
absolutely disgusting, filthy. Um, I mean, filthy like the family from frickin' Texas Chainsaw Massacre level filthy, right? Um,
Hmm.
Yeah, those nobody or no one or whatever it's called series. I know what you talk about, the blonde guy and his brother. Uh, but um, but yeah, the only I don't like Indian movies mainly because of the aesthetic and the damn music. But they have thousands and thousands of movies. Um, German and Scandinavian movies, if you're in the right mood, because they're going to be moody and they're going to be like dour and gray. It's just their mentality. I don't. Sometimes Persian movies are not bad. I've seen a few good ones. Um, I've never seen a good Is there any movies made in Africa? Must be.
Now, I will say this: if Booster's still in the chat, he's probably mentioned it. But Chester, you need to watch RRR.
Yeah, no, my brother, my not my brother, my son keeps saying that to me as well,
You
and
do. It's
I say,
fun. It's just fun. It's a little homoerotic, but it's done in like a tongue-in-cheek, funny way. It's very fun. I think you'll like it. I do genuinely think you'll like it. It's very pro like Indian propaganda, 100%. I mean, it's blatantly that, but it's still just a lot of fun. And I even my wife loves it. She was in here because it's Bollywood, so there's randomly musical numbers in it, right?
you know,
Um,
which
so
I
she loves that part
hate.
because you know how women are. They love for some reason they seem to love musicals.
Yeah, that is well, my wife hates them, which is interesting because I'm an American. But yes, Roger, I do know Blackjack. Yes, I do know Blackjack, and I do believe he's a Native American, kind of. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, Mexican, other than stuff like Guillermo del Toro's stuff, and he's Spanish but doing Mexican stuff. But I just don't like the aesthetic once again. Um, South America, I don't know. They must have films, right? You would think everybody has their own little film industry. But I guess I'm just not as cosmopolitan as I think.
Well,
And
it's movies are expensive. Up until very recently, it was quite expensive to make a film. You had to have film and things like this, and that was
Do the
expensive. It's a
Monty
lot
Python
less
movies
so.
count as foreign movies?
oh, sure, all the British stuff,
Yeah,
but it's
well,
English language,
okay.
but it is foreign, yeah.
Yeah.
And the
But
BBC's
like
great
so
at period pieces.
you have the modern cameras, digital cameras and whatnot, and even just phones. Some people have made movies with phones
Yeah,
as the camera. It makes it a
successfully.
lot more accessible,
Yeah.
to people to get in there. So if you wanted to be a filmmaker, this might be the easiest and best because the world is aching for something original, something
Yep,
unique.
it is.
Uh, this would be the time to come in and just take over like they did in the 70s and the 80s. Just come in and take over.
No,
I mean,
absolutely. It
Cameron.
is ripe.
Cameron's a perfect example. When did
It is
he
ripe.
made it big in the '80s, right? Uh, and now look at him, right? He's the most on paper the most successful director of all time. So it's just one of those things. If you every so often you'll see this in Hollywood where they're just in this retard juice phase, and you just need new blood to come in and shake them up. I actually don't know if that's going to happen this time though, largely because Hollywood is just so to most Americans, especially, or at least a lot of Americans. We're just disgusted with it, and the whole culture around it. It's not what it used to be, right? The glamour's gone. It's dead. It's
Right.
done.
Right.
Um, so I think they're just going to largely be replaced, and it's already happening, right?
Yeah,
Like a
no,
great
and fair
example
enough.
is Demon Slayer. Look how much money that just fucking made from
It
Japan.
is crazy.
Uh,
And there are other things like you also have other English language like yeah, Ireland. They've made a lot of great movies like Quiet Man was a mega hit, right?
right.
Um and you also have the Dog Soldiers and were the Grabbers, was that an Irish film? Might have been.
It sounds like it. It
Of
sounds
course.
Irish as shit.
Well, In Bruges was also a really good Irish movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Booster really likes In Bruges.
It's
He's
because
told me
it's
about it before.
fantastic. Yeah.
Big fan of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. In the Name of the Father, I think was another really good one. The what is it? Oh, that's a weird name movie, but it's got your boy in it. Killian Murphy, way back. He was super young. What was the name of that? The Wind that. Give me a second here. I'm
Now
looking up.
loading.
Now loading.
Now loading.
Yeah. Yeah. The Wind that shakes the barley. That was a really
Oh,
good movie, actually, that most people don't even know about. It's old. That's 20 years ago. But that's got Cillian Murphy, Peaky Blinders guy,
yep.
and it's
He's a
a
good actor.
fantastic movie. Yes. But anyway, there are things around, and we won't mention uh, Canada
Let's
at
leave
all.
Canada out of this. All right. Let's
Yeah,
just leave Canada out of this.
yeah.
It's better
Now,
for
Canada will
everybody.
always have a soft spot because of Porky's.
Fair enough. They've made a lot of movies. I was actually joking. A lot of our most successful TV shows came out of Vancouver,
Yeah.
especially during the era of Stargate, right?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But anyway, cool. That's enough of that. So thank you all very much. In 2 days, we are definitely doing Bugbear's Basement this week. I don't care, come hell or high water.
It's
Yeah,
Okay.
happening.
tsunami hits, you might not have a choice in the
No,
high
It's
no.
water.
happening.
I
No, no,
got,
he'll just right. He'll get in his boat.
I
He's
got a
got a
boat,
boat. He'll
and
be all right.
yes, and I am.
I demand that shit happens. The tsunami hits and he's fucking streaming from the boat.
He's playing D&D
He
from
better
his
be on
boat.
camera.
Yeah. Well, you know what I did? I did just upgrade my boat here a week or two ago. I haven't added anything really new in quite a while, other than basic maintenance. But I did. You know what I did?
Oh,
What'd
what'd
you do?
you do?
Starlink is available in Japan.
Oh,
Excellent.
nice.
Yeah.
Damn, he
And
might be streaming from the boat this time out.
dude, and it is not as consistent as it needs to be. But it is better and cheaper than the system I had on the boat before, which was quite
That
old
I've
and
heard.
needed replacing anyway. So fair enough. We'll see, but it was pretty cheap, and the monthly subscription is pretty cheap. But
How
I
is it
don't.
speed wise?
When it's working, it's good. It's pretty quick,
It seems
quick
to be the
actually.
it seems to be the consensus because I've seen some people like do road trips using Starlink and like
Yeah,
it kind of goes in and out,
yeah,
but
yeah.
when it's on, it's on.
Yeah, when he completely has his network set up, I think it'll probably be fine. It is. I hope it is, because that will absolutely destroy all of these companies like Comcast. Destroy them because they overcharge like crazy. I don't even know
Yep,
how much money I pay for the cable into my house. It's a lot. It's a lot more than that. What is that? 15, 14 bucks for Starlink?
Hmm.
that's fucking great.
Mhm.
The problem
I
is
got
of course, it's
lucky.
satellites, so there's some stuff about like,
Yeah,
you know,
there's
there's always going to be that slight delay because it has to
yeah,
go from
that's the problem.
space
That's
to your
yeah.
thing. But if you're out somewhere where you can't get anything anyway at all, I mean, shit, you can't beat it, right? It's better than nothing. Something is better than nothing, and trust me, where I lived, way out in the rural, when you couldn't get high speed internet, I couldn't get high speed internet till like 2006 where I lived, something like that, because it just didn't exist unless you got satellite. But by heck, that and it was so expensive, and the service was so shit, it wasn't worth it. Uh, so it took me, and when I got it, it was, I mean, I think it was like 4 megabytes a second, something like that, some ridiculously tiny number. Um, and but it was just the best you could get. There was no other alternative. And so Starlink is a game changer. And everybody needs to understand that everything Elon's doing, everything, all of his companies, every single one of them are to facilitate Mars.
Yeah,
Everything, even
that
Starlink.
is what he's
That's
doing. Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. But a lot of, like, for me, what I was using before was a cellular based system. So it only works when you're near shore. When you get out into the blue water, and it's not doing nothing for you, right? So
Yep. Hmm.
Starlink is it is blue water capable. So, now to be fair, a lot of us don't really leave the coastlines very much. We don't go blue water, even though we have the capability of doing so. But I am definitely a blue water guy from time to time, right?
Hmm.
So, when you're out, you don't have anything. So, what I would do, used to do, if I went blue water, like took a trip to Okinawa or go to Taiwan or something like that, I would use a satellite phone. And
Right.
they're getting cheaper. Of course, Starlink blows it out of the water, but they're getting cheaper. But those things are not cheap, dude. They're
No, 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 not at
expensive.
all.
And if you have to use like Fleet Band or something like that, would you like to guess how much that costs a month to have access to that network?
Tell me.
$800.
Shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah. So this has been my stress for a long fucking time. And so the Starlink, even though it doesn't seem to be completely consistent, it is blue water capable, and it costs me $14 a month. So all day,
Much
dude,
better deal.
all day. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the Banshees, yeah, Booster of Inisherin. Yeah, that's a great movie too. No, the Irish put out some good movies from time to time, dude. But In Bruges is so good, dude. It's so good. But I mean, it's got Colin Farrell and that other guy that's in every Irish movie ever made. The old dude who's
Yep.
forever old and slightly almost fat and balding and long, but
Hmm.
his hair's
Hmm.
long. What's that guy's name?
I
Um,
can't remember, but
yeah,
I
but
know who
you
you're
know who I
talking about.
mean, right? He's
Yeah.
in Bruges, of course. He's in everything. He is the quintessential Irish actor. Uh,
That's
but
right.
uh, but yeah, In Bruges is one of the greatest movies ever made, really, as far as drama goes. And if you haven't seen it, listeners, what are you doing? That's a killer movie. But it is a slice of life, bad people life movie. But that it is worth watching. Have you guys seen In Bruges?
No, I haven't.
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
absolutely have. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's a real good
You know, it's
movie, Grimlock. It's really good.
it's a good time. It's a
Yeah,
good
but
time.
it is, and that's the one. Peter Dinklage is in that. A young Peter Dinklage, right?
I believe
Pretty,
so.
pretty sure he's in that. Yeah, they go
Old
partying with a
Dinklage.
dwarf. But they are bad people doing bad things. Brendan Gleeson, yeah, that guy. He's awesome too. I do love that guy. He's always a good time. But I think a lot of people probably misplace a lot of Irish movies as being English movies, which that's how you piss off an Irishman. Just so you know.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, 2 days. Come on back for Bugbear's Basement. We're continuing in lockdown Chicago. Other than that,
Chicago.
take us out of here, man.
I'm gonna do your favorite one, Chester, because it's quick, easy, and dirty. The master's not the one who completes this training. The master's the one who never stops.
Namaste. Later, bitches.